months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. When a spouse says, thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before. That's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 916-619-3000 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 916-619-3000. Or schedule anytime at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
The deals are on now at the model year-end sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save on year-end models and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at folsomlakehonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by Malik.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. And we are smelling some ribs. Okay, there's a lot of ribs in the building. I've had far too many already, and I'll probably have more. From Jeezyl's Ribs. Okay, shout out to them. I met them during Crosstalk, and the ribs are still here. Kyle and I are going to house some ribs all day long. We're taking you up to 2 p.m. If you're just now joining us, Dave's morning show, Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross, they have partnered, okay, with Jeezyl's Barbecue Sauce, and they were here during the end of Dave's show. They brought some ribs in. Dave couldn't handle the hot barbecue sauce. There's a whole rack still here, so I'm just staring at ribs right now as I do the show.
Want me to take them out of the room?
You might after this. Okay, it's keeping it. Dave is coming back.
Can you tell Dave he's a jerk for messing up the camera?
What's up, Dave?
I'm sorry. I was almost at my car, and something hit me, and I didn't want to go all weekend without asking you. Hi, everybody. When you open the show, you go, yes, yes, yes. And we've been having fun with that, right?
Yes, you have.
I literally got to my car, and I stopped cold. I hope I'm not overthinking this. Is that a reference to Wesley Snipes in Major League as Willie Mays Hayes when he finds out he makes the team and he goes into the parking lot and he screams because Tom Berenger said don't celebrate in front of other people that have died? And he goes out in the parking lot and he screams and then he goes, yes, yes, yes. Or no. God.
I mean, not consciously, maybe subconsciously.
You say it almost very much in the same cadence he does. Do you know the scene I'm talking about?
I do know.
And that's not...
Like I said.
I thought I had it.
No.
Okay.
It's just how I start the show.
Enjoy the ribs and
Thanks.
coffee.
Thanks.
And remember how nice I am to you.
I will
with
always.
with no caveats or asterisks.
None.
Okay.
I wouldn't dream it. Carmichael Dave, everyone. Just can't stay away, Carmichael Dave. We're all in wait, what? What's going on now? Okay, I think he's finally gone now. Carmichael Dave.
I don't know. Be careful. You say that, and then he reappears.
Yeah, it's like
Beetlejuice.
Exactly. Or Shazam. I don't know if that's the same
Candyman?
thing. 916-339-1140. Let's get back on track here, okay? And the train just left the station, so we can't get off track too quickly, but that's how Fridays typically go. The Kings are back in action tonight, taking on the Portland Trailblazers. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I love Friday games because, yes, I pay attention, but I have all weekend to digest unless they play again on Friday, Saturday games, unless they play again on Sunday. So I get to watch the game, but I know I don't have to talk about it immediately the next day. So I on Fridays, when I watch games, it's almost more from a fan point of view, because I know I don't have to break down every single thing the next day. So I'm just excited to watch a Friday game, the Sacramento Kings, and just see what they can do. I was talking to the high flyer in between shows yesterday and just kind of going back and forth on the overreaction from the preseason. And he was more so on my side, and I said it during crosstalk as well, than people would I think believe, because I'm such an overreactor in these situations, because it did not look good. And this is their opportunity to say, hey, that's not who we are. It was the first game. There was a lot going on. We're going to show who we are in Portland tonight. And that's what I'm excited to see. And also, it's Friday. Everybody's always in a good mood on Friday. So we're breaking down what the Kings have to do to get back on track tonight, just like we're getting back on track on the show tonight. We have our Kimpton Sawyer, the last day with that secret keyword, so you don't want to miss that. That's also going to get you lower level tickets to Kings and Thunder, all right, as well as $200 a gift card to Revival in Sacramento. So if you've been putting in keywords, texting in keywords to 916-339-1140, don't stop now. Today could be the entry that gets you that beautiful, beautiful evening in Doco in downtown Sacramento. So we have that for you at 12 o'clock. The Dodgers move on because the Phillies implode. They absolutely implode. And you got to feel really bad for the Phillies and how things happen. I guess you don't have to, but specifically,
why do I have to?
Specifically for Orion Kerkering, okay, I saw somebody post back in 2023 when he made his Major League Baseball debut, and his dad was in the stands, and he basically cried during the whole first inning. And it was just to kind of remind everybody that he's a human. But Philly fans don't care about that. Nobody cares about that. There's also a level, and I've had this guy on the show before. Good friend of mine, went to his wedding, recently had a kid. He's back in Philly now. He was in the Bay Area. Jason Dumas. So Jason Dumas is doing really well for himself. Got his dream job back in Philly on Channel 6, and we're really happy for him. But Jason kind of countered, if you will, the idea of, hey, it wasn't the rehumanizing or the humanization of Orion Kerkering. It was the idea that you should feel bad for him. And Jason said, I feel bad for his teammates. I feel bad that that's why the season's over, but I don't know that I feel bad for him. These are professional athletes. And some people agreed with Jason. Some people said, hey, man, I mean, that's a tough spot to be in. So these are the days where everybody's going to have a different approach and a different thought process on how you should feel. As I watched it, first, I thought JT Realmuto, possible future Giant, maybe a little too old, but possible future Giant, I thought he was calling for the ball. That's what I thought. I'm thinking, why is Realmuto saying that, right? Then when I rewatched it, the brother is literally pointing to first base. He's pointing to first base the whole time, and Kerkering he bleeped his pants. That's what he did. He bleeped his pants in the moment. When I'm watching, and you know I hate the Dodgers. We're actually working on some stuff to come together as A's and Giants fans to hate watch the Dodgers. So
and Padres.
Anybody in the Sacramento area, we're cooking up an event, and we're really excited for it. Because I loathe watching them. I cannot watch them. It makes me so upset. I used to love Mookie Betts. The brother's 5'9", Okay, he went from right field to shortstop. It is literally, I love my family, but if I could be reincarnated as anyone, it'd probably be Mookie Betts. He dunks, he bowls 300. That's my guy. Then he goes to the Dodgers, so now I have to hate him. And I'm sitting there watching. It's just hitter after hitter after hitter. You got to walk Shohei Ohtani, MVP, to get to Mookie Betts, former MVP. That's what it is. You got Tyler Glasnow coming out of the bullpen. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Also, your 4-hitter is an MVP.
It's a joke, right? So I'm thinking, come on, Philly. And obviously I'm texting my buddies from Temple. Oh my goodness, what's going on? The Phillies take the lead. All right, great. Bryce Harper, by the way, he's looking kind of washed. I'm just going to say it. I love Bryce. I faced him back in the day, which means I'm also washed, which is also true. But Bryce Harper is looking, those 15-year deals, he's either starting to decline or he's starting to decline in the biggest moments. Because Bryce Harper, that brother was an automatic out until they were up by 5 already. He did absolutely nothing.
I don't know if it's still true because they had game 4 yesterday, but after game 2, there was an insane stat that Bryce Harper, who was 1 for 9 in the series with a single, still had the highest playoff OPS since 2019.
I mean,
which seems unbelievable.
Yeah, and I guess that's one thing because the drop-off, everything is relative, right? He might be falling off or being a bit washed up, but that's because he was so good in the past.
But he was also, I think it's just baseball, though, because he was guy who can't get it done in Washington and would have these playoff collapses, then got to Philly and they just didn't make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. Then they started getting to the playoffs, and he's the greatest postseason hitter we've ever seen. Until now. Until this series, which also, he can't play in the outfield anymore, so I don't know how hurt, he's
literally just a first baseman.
Yeah. Is he just Albert Pujols at the end where, his body just gave out on him? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's, like I said, and again, I don't know, I think he was 16 and I was 18 or something like that. But he's a big boy, but he's not Aaron Judge, right? It's more about, like you said, the injuries, because he never plays center, and he's not as big as Aaron Judge. So it's got to be the injuries that he's dealt with. He always had a really aggressive swing, too, and people try to tell you, hey, those aggressive swings, they do some damage.
Look at Stanton.
Yeah, there's no reason Bryce should only be a first baseman right now based on his measurables. He's not, like I said, if Aaron Judge's still out there, then you should still be out there. But he's not. And Bryce, like I said, I'm a huge Bryce fan, but he did not get it done. Phillies go home. Whether you feel bad for Orion Kerkering or not, it was just brutal to watch. And the Dodgers now wait to see if the Cubs or the Brewers get it done. I'm excited for that game 5. The Cubs taking care of business at home. I guess if you want the Dodgers to lose, I guess you want the Brewers to get it done. I think they have a better chance at it, but I don't know. You never know. The Cubs, they've kind of surprised people all season long, and, they have a pretty legit lineup. Kyle Tucker starting to turn it back on. Nice little Oppo, not fully Oppo Taco, but went to left center yesterday, home run. So, I mean, that is the bigger ticket if you are a fan of baseball and you want more people to watch. Cubs-Dodgers is better than Brewers-Dodgers, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's tough because, it's honestly, you could tell me the Cubs are better, the Brewers are better, and I'm like, you could convince me either way. We were joking in the last round. It's like, nobody's scared of the Brewers. Yeah. But then the Brewers came out and just started whooping on the Cubs.
But, again, what's funny is everybody loves the team with no stars until, and I know they have some guys, I'm not disrespecting Christian Yelich, but you get to the playoffs, and you see the Kyle Tuckers start to show up. You see the star power show up more so than you do throughout the course of 162 games. So I don't know what's going to happen. And then you have another game 5 with the Mariners and the Tigers.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a good one. Everybody wants the big dumper, right? Everybody needs to see the dumper.
But Scooble, win or go home for your season. This is where legacies are made. Best pitcher in baseball. Yeah. Win or go home, game 5 on the road. This is I get it's Big Dumper and it's the season of Big Dumper, but this is, and it would be cool to see the Mariners go to the LCS, but this is kind of the Tarek Skubal legacy game today.
Yeah, I do wonder, we'd have to check on it, Kyle, if the Blue Jays are getting anyone back. They're so injured and they still whoop the bleep out of the Yankees. Are they going to get anybody back for that next series as they await their next opponent. So really, really fun stuff going on with baseball. And I know, obviously, the Kings are in preseason, and we're going to rock out 11 o'clock to 1 p.m. That's always hardcore Kings talk here on the Allen Stiles Show. But sports right now in general, it's cooking. I think college football has done a great job. I'm super juiced, and I don't know if I'm going to get time because somebody might poop their pants. She'll be a month tomorrow, by the way, baby number 2, but she might poop her pants the same way Kirkering did, and I won't get to watch. But I'm really excited to watch Indiana and Oregon. I really want to watch that football game tomorrow.
Oh, a classic Big Ten rivalry.
Yeah, a classic in the making. You know why? Because Fernando might be the Raiders' next quarterback. That's why I really want to watch.
I mean, anyone could be the next Raiders quarterback at this point. They'll take the quarterback down in what's his name, Carson Beck. They'll take any of them.
I'll take Dante Moore, or I'll take Fernando Mendoza. So to me, maybe that's why I'm excited to watch Oregon, Indiana tomorrow, because they will be wearing the silver and black. I do not. Come on, Gino. I'm done. I'm done. Let's just.
You want him to draft another quarterback?
What do you mean draft another? Who's the quarterback they drafted?
I mean, who's the Cam Miller, Aiden O'Connell, Gave up a third-round pick for Geno. Could have had Jalen Milroe.
Come on, man. No, this is real deal here. So the battle of the future of the Raiders going on tomorrow. Indiana taking on Oregon.
But you know what's hilarious? It could be both, because I think Nussmeier's playing Sellers this weekend, too.
Oh, my goodness. It is the future Raider quarterback weekend extravaganza. That's where we're at. That's how I'm going to make myself enjoy Saturday, and then you get Sunday where you actually have to watch the Raiders play football, which I don't even know if they play this weekend. I'm done. Somebody tell me if they play this weekend. 916-339-1140. I also want to ask the question, are the Kings willing to do whatever it takes to win? Well, what do you mean by that, Allen? What do you mean whatever it takes to win? Well, what I mean by that is that when you have someone, and we talked a little bit about this yesterday, when you have someone that's preaching all these things that remind you of even high school basketball or high school sports, college sports, do the right thing, next man up, whoever's willing to play the right way is going to see time on my court. Now, a lot of times that stuff doesn't fly when somebody is making $47 million versus somebody making $5 million, right? We know that. Players have admitted it. Organizations, maybe not technically, but we all know it's true. So that's my question. It's the same question we asked last season, but now we're starting in a different level, right? If Nick Clifford is balling out and it makes more sense, whoever it could be, to sit or to change up your starting lineup because it literally just makes sense, would Doug Christie be willing to do it? Would Doug Christie have the green light to do it? I got my answer to that, and it might surprise you. So that's what we're talking about. We also have that clip from the 502 podcast that we teased yesterday with Chris Watkins, which convinced Chris Watkins for the Kings to draft or to trade for Jonathan Kuminga. So we have that for you. And somebody on the text line is asking, when are we going to talk about Scatterboo? Trust me. We're going to talk about the Aura brothers out there in New York. But the other thing I want to say about Eagles-Giants is I still can't believe that we spent a summer and Eagles fans, I don't know how many Eagles fans are out here. Drapes, maybe we could get Drapes on the line. He's probably running around busy somewhere. But I can't believe we spent the summer with Eagle fans because they were sipping the secret sauce off of that Super Bowl, trying to convince us that Jalen Hurts is better than prime Cam Newton. I cannot believe that they fixed their mouths to say that. And I like Jalen Hurts, but I thought it was ridiculous then, and it feels ridiculous now. We're talking A.J. Brown, right? A.J. Brown versus Ted Ginn Jr. That's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about.
It's also Devonta Smith versus second quarterback.
Whoever. Devonta Smith, whoever Cam Newton, whoever they found on the street.
Who was the second receiver? No one knows.
Well, he had obviously Greg Olsen, right?
Kelvin Benjamin was out for season that year. I remember that.
Oh, my gosh. He had Steve Smith, but I don't know if those timelines, I don't know if he had Ted Ginn and Steve Smith at the same time. But nothing like what Jalen Hurts has had. And I like Jalen Hurts. But he is as much a leader and a good quarterback based on what he how he carries himself as much as it is on the field. If you combined how Jalen Hurts carries himself and that leadership aspect, not to say that Cam wasn't a leader, but if you added that to Cam's game, you probably win some Super Bowls. But talent-wise, we got to stop doing this, man.
All right, so I have the list of the leading receivers from the 2015 Carolina Panthers. Their only 1,000-yard receiver was G-Reg, third leg Olsen, Greg Olsen. Ted Ginn Jr., their number one receiver, 739 yards.
Come on.
Their number two receiver, Jericho Cotchery, with 485 yards. Their number three receiver, Devin Funchess.
Oh, that's it, from Michigan.
Yes. I also remember after he left the Panthers, he was supposed to be Aaron Rodgers' number one receiver one of those years the Packers were trying to win the Super Bowl.
Like, we got to stop doing that, man. Like, I get it. Everybody loves a winner. Everybody loves rings. I get it, but that's crazy. That I can't believe. And they were convinced. They truly were convinced. And some of that is, if you weren't, I don't know if these are Gen Zers, if you weren't there to watch it, some of that also is, again, the same argument that I always have. People don't like Cam Newton. People never like Cam Newton. From Auburn and the Scam Newton stuff, people don't like Cam Newton. When Cam Newton said, I'll never forget, because that's the picture where it looked like I was a Boy Scout or a small child when I took the picture with Cam Newton, that was when he really popped on the media scene with the game. What was it? He's not a game changer. No, it wasn't game. Did he say, was it game manager?
I don't remember.
But it was that Brock Purdy wasn't a game changer. So now all these Niner fans said Cam's a bum and he didn't jump on the football, even though that game was already over, by the way. That is, these are we need to create a list, Kyle, for next summer. All of the narratives that are just tired. The Domantas Sabonis, specifically that one series, we spent time on that yesterday. Domantas Sabonis playoff dropper. Cam Newton not jumping on the football when the game was already over, right? Just overshadowing everything else they've done in their career.
Yeah.
That you overshadow that Domantas Sabonis, along with De'Aaron Fox, took the Kings to the playoffs where they hadn't been in 20 years, right? And that was the year after, if I'm not mistaken, the Warriors won the whole thing, okay? It was the defending champs.
Yes.
Okay? Cam Newton drags Ted Ginn Jr. and some JUCO players, okay?
Devin Funchess.
To the Super Bowl. So we need to create that list, Kyle, next time we have some time, because this summer we had way too much to talk about. Way too much.
Also, if you want to feel old, that was a decade ago now.
I know exactly where I was. I was out there in Oakland. It was one of our first spots when we moved in together. We were just starting to get used to it. And, funny enough, not to put his business out in the streets, but there was an area, right, a little hangout right down the street from our apartment. And we were at the area. We would go there, watch games there. You'll never guess who I saw leaving on his motorcycle all these years ago. We were walking in. He was getting ready to walk out. You never guess who we would see.
I think I might know.
Mr. Mike Brown himself.
Yep.
Right down the street. And what? 10 years later, hey, we were hanging out in Sacramento. Now Mike's in New York, and that's just how the cookie crumbles. So we got NFL Week 6 on deck as well. We're going to spend some time talking about Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, because I know everybody wants to talk about that. And I got to give Kyle his props, man. Schmalin Miles is cold right now, okay? He's got to figure it out. But when we do prop talk later today, and we're going to pick something from all the NFL slates, Kyle is the name that you need to follow right now. I'm going to try to help you, but Kyle is 2 for 2. On Monday you hit, and on Thursday you hit. So Kyle is the guy that you need to follow right now.
That's because you, Schmalin Miles, didn't believe in our big, beautiful, beefy Sacramento boy, Cam Scatterbo.
You got to stop with the backflips, though. It scares me.
Our big, beautiful idiot, 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. I told you, take the yards, take the catches, take the touchdown.
Well, he didn't get me my receiving yards because he didn't need to.
No.
They were just running up the gut every single time.
Beefy boy Cam Scatterbo came through to beat the Super Bowl champions. By the way, I was talking about this last night. What a dumb season it's been in the NFL so far.
It's been great.
The Giants, who just lost to the worst team in football, the Saints, beat the defending champions 4 days later. What a truly stupid season.
Well, and the other thing is, too, the NFC is wide open. And I think the AFC is wide open. I have no clue who is going to the Super Bowl. And every year people think they know, but this year it seems very, very random. When we return, let's continue to discuss what Jackson Dart and Cam Skattebo, what they've done for the culture in New York so far, and what's going on with the Eagles. And we give Kyle his props as we lead into NFL Week 6. And, of course, we're talking Kings. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings are geared up for the new season. Training camp competition is fierce.
He's got the two-pointer.
Download the Sactown Sports app to keep you informed everywhere you go.
One place, all your Sacramento Kings news. Sactown Sports 1140.
Let's go.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The excitement of the game is here, and so are the model year-end savings at Stockton Honda, the best Honda dealer in Northern California. Score big with low payments, more for your trade, and a huge selection. Don't wait. The clock is ticking at StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on the results of the study, recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Hey man, gaining weight, low energy, lost drive? It could be your testosterone. Revive Men's Health Sacramento helps men get their edge back. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations.
When men start treatment, it's not just their labs that change. You see it in their posture, their energy, and how they walk into the room. That's why I do what I do.
Call 916-619-3000 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 916-619-3000, or schedule anytime at revivemenshealth.com.
High set. Bellinger, the fullback. Now he motions out to the left. Handoff, Skattebo into the line, to the goal line. No signal yet. And touchdown Giants. Skattebo's third rushing touchdown of the ball game. Oh, he does a backflip.
Allen Stiles, Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. Cam Scattaboo and Jackson Dart taking care of business. Look, man, from the NFC least to possibly, off the top of my head, is that the toughest division this season?
I'd still go NFC West.
Because once the Cardinals lose a couple more games, then
once the Cardinals
and the Seahawks, don't worry, it will happen. But right now, sure.
Yeah, I think it's still the NFC. Like, it's not like the Giants are actually good, right? They still just lost to the Saints last week.
You got Wan'Dale Robinson looked like Malik Neighbors.
Yeah,
yesterday
he's been really good.
Yeah, I feel like he's been on that team for, I don't know,
4 years now?
So it feels like 14. He's just always been there.
The way I keep track of those timelines sometimes is like by college. So like I know he was Will Levis's receiver at Kentucky. So whenever Will Levis was in college, that's when Wan'Dale Robinson was.
Yeah, so Jackson Dart is that dude. Okay, and I'm not going to pretend. I saw some of the work that he did when he was at Ole Miss, but I'm not going to pretend and say that I watched him as much as I watched Shedeur Sanders. I'm not going to pretend that happened, right? Now, when the draft was coming out, I did like his mobility. I did like his stature. I did like his aura. I didn't know what he was going to be, but he looks the part. Some of those plays yesterday where he's scrambling around, not the actual running plays, but that play where he scrambled around and then bounced off somebody, came back to his right, and then was able to find Wan'Dale Robinson. That's high-level stuff. Now, the Eagles, they can't get out of their own way, and the Eagles are the only team in history to derail their own, I shouldn't say the only team, shout out to the Warriors and punching people, but they derailed their own, I'll put it to you like this, derailed their own season while being undefeated. The Eagles just decided to make drama for themselves. It's the most bizarre thing ever. They were 4-0. Jalen Hurts is saying, but we're winning. Shut the bleep up. And everyone's thinking, yeah, Jalen's right. We don't care about stats. We just care about winning. And then A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith said, well, hold on there a second. Hold on just a second. We like winning. But on the other side of it, I've always thought it's one thing when you're chasing something, right? Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, they can say that they're Super Bowl champions for the rest of their lives. And I don't know how much it matters whether a wide receiver has 1, 2, 3, however many championships, because they're not quarterbacks. So you could be A.J. Brown and say, I got my ring. I got my legacy. I want to go somewhere that is a more bear, shout out to the Bear Raid Cal all those years ago, a more air raid style offense. I don't need to do this anymore. I got what everybody wants. Now I can go to some random team. And that's not to say you won't compete, but I want to go somewhere where they're going to throw the football around a little bit more. I'm not saying that's what he wants, but he has no reason to deal with this now. I know there was a lot when this happened last season. I know there was a lot said about their relationship, and it turned out that A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts are pretty darn close, right? That came out last season when we thought there was a rift going on, that going into that season, they were really close, or they have been really close. I think they still are, and that's what I was talking with my buddy Jason Dumas about last season. But this season now, we did it. We got to the mountaintop. If you're a receiver, I just don't know. Right, as I was watching the Netflix special with the Cowboys and Michael Irvin, he just wanted to win, right? He also wanted the ball, though, but he wanted to win. I look at A.J. Brown and to a lesser degree Devontae Smith, and I wonder how much do they want to take a back seat now that they did it? If they lost again, then the argument would be, well, you need to throw the football more. But now that they won, they've each had their moments. And they were pretty active in the Super Bowl. Saquon didn't really do that much in the Super Bowl. That's how Jalen Hurts won MVP. But now that they've done it, do I need to deal with 4 tush pushes in a row, which is just ridiculous, by the way. But do I need to deal with 4 tush pushes in a row when I already got my Super Bowl ring?
So this is kind of the tough thing about that, right? Because sacrificing for the team, and the Eagles, again, it's more a style of play thing with them, but sacrificing for the good of the team is only worth it when you win the Super Bowl, right? This is the old Patriot way thing, is like, when you win, it's awesome, but no one ever said, I love playing for the Patriots, and this is so much fun.
Yeah.
But it won. Remember 2 years ago, the Eagles completely fell apart at the end of the season, and everyone was ready to fight everybody because they were all sacrificing, and it felt like Sirianni was the one messing it up. So the winning thing is fun when you're actually winning.
But that's the crazy part. We would think the way we're talking about them, the way they talk about themselves, what other team has a team meeting when they're 4-1? Who does that?
I mean, the Eagles have seen this before, though, right? They got rid of their offensive coordinator. The offense is not as productive as it was before. And yes, they're winning games, but they're just barely scraping by. And by the way, they just lost 2 in a row to the Broncos and the Giants. So I kind of understand why it feels like to them specifically the ceiling might be falling a little bit just because they've lived this before. This was literally the same thing 2 years ago. They were 10-1 with Matt Patricia as the offensive coordinator, and then it all fell apart from there.
Yeah, that's just how it's been for the Eagles so far. And on the other side, Cam Skattebo, that dude is a psychopath in the best way possible. I know he said he thought the Niners were going to take him. Sometimes teams just overthink things, right? And I know running backs can be a little bit confusing, and even going to, and we'll see, and I'm not trying to compare the two, but obviously you're going to do it, but we'll see what happens. Cam Skattebo thought he was the best running back in the draft, and of course he's going to feel like that. Why wouldn't he feel like that? And he went in the 4th round. So you look at other teams that were able to do different things, and you look at the draft that the Giants had and able to bring in some culture changers in all of one draft. And then you look over at the Raiders, who can't do anything. And I'm not going to sit here and say I was mad when they got Ashton Genty, but in a couple years, I don't know. I think we have to wait and see based on how running backs are. I think the issue with running backs, as we're even seeing with Saquon this season, is you need running backs can't do it by themselves, right? Wide receivers, and they can get double teamed, but wide receivers, they can cook as much as they want to cook. If you don't have a good offensive line, you could have the best running back in the world, and there's nothing that they can do. So Ashton Genty has looked better, so I'm not going to sit here and say that the Raiders shouldn't have done it. But when you take somebody that high, it better show pretty quickly, and Ashton Genty's starting to figure it out. But very similar to the Mac Jones, Brock Purdy conversation, is Brock Purdy $50 million better than Mac Jones? Is what? Ashton Genty went 4th? 6th overall? Is Ashton Genty 99 picks better than Cam Skattebo? And it's not a direct comparison in the same way as Brock and Mac, but I don't think he is. No,
I think people are making the point, how could Cam Skattebo have fallen that far in the draft?
And I agree.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to it, but I just pulled up the 2025 draft real quick. First of all, he was the 7th running back taken in the draft.
That's nuts.
But he's also at least a year older than all 6 of the running backs that were taken before him. So age was definitely a
Who are the other
thing.
guys?
I'll go through it. So we got Ashton Genty, Amarian Hampton.
Okay, he's on my fantasy team.
Look really good. Quinshon Judkins.
Okay, no, I do mess with. No, he's nice.
Yeah.
And now I know, was it Travion Henderson too?
Travion Henderson.
Yeah, both of them were nice. Okay. Yeah. Okay, those two are nice.
Those are the one. R.J. Harvey for the Broncos.
Okay, so there's R.J. Harvey and then R.J. Hampton?
There's Amarian Hampton.
Okay.
And R.J. Harvey. R.J. Harvey's the backup for the Broncos right now, who's been decent.
That's who's on my fantasy team.
Yes. It seems like you're just picking all of them. Then you have Caleb Johnson. Seems not great pick by the Steelers. He's the Steelers running back.
Yeah, because they let Najee go.
Yeah, he's not been great, but again, year younger than Skattebo. And then you get to Skattebo after that. So again, I understand why he was taken where he was taken. Older running back, coming out of 5 years of college. All the guys we listed before are actually good.
You think age matters that? When did the 6th running back get taken?
He was taken at 83. And Scattaboo was 105.
Are we sure 1 year matters that much? I mean, Cam Scattaboo was crazy in college on a big stage.
Yeah, no, I get it. I just don't know if he projected as well in the NFL for whatever the reasons were going to be. Like, the first 5 players that were taken ahead of him are not crazy. Like, they've all had moments in the NFL so far.
Yeah, I'm not going to pretend. The 2 that you said, Harvey and Hampton.
Harvey and Johnson.
No. I'm saying those 2.
Yeah.
I can't speak on, but the 2 from Ohio State are legitimately nasty.
Yeah.
Ashton Genty and the 2 from Ohio State, I don't have any arguments with. I can't speak on the other 2, but those 3, okay.
Hampton's been killing it with the Chargers.
Yeah.
So, like, I look at it like those 4, all of them make sense. Caleb Johnson, okay, the Steelers might have made a mistake not taking Scattaboo.
Right.
But even that was a 3rd-round pick, so it's really semantics here. Like, Scattaboo was probably taken about where he should have been, maybe a round later, but he's coming in now, starting the year as the backup, taking over now that the Giants are going to the youth movement, and actually looks to be a legitimate starting NFL running back.
You think he might end up like a hybrid fullback at some point? He's a big boy.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
If you're the Giants, what do you have to lose?
After the game on Amazon Prime, and that's so annoying. You go to a bar or a restaurant, you got to ask them. I call ahead. My spot's in the tone and say, you got Amazon Prime? We're trying to watch the game. He's on the after the show with Ryan Fitzpatrick. They're taking off their shirts. I mean, it's just great stuff, and I know everybody is really happy for him. Local kid getting to live out his dreams. Look, and the other part of this too is, again, I'm going to use that name for somebody else in New York, the Jeremy Lin run. We don't know how long this is going to last, but we're just enjoying it a lot right now. And that's all you should do right now. Because we don't know how long it's going to last. But he seems to fit the part. And running backs, they do have short shelf lives. So they better do whatever they're going to do right now while they can sneak up on some people. And, yeah, that NFC East is looking to be pretty formidable, because if the Giants are going to play like this more often than not, you don't really have any soft spots. The Cowboys seem to be figuring it out, and they don't even have CeeDee Lamb back. The Eagles are the team on the downslide, but we know they have the best roster. So, yeah, that NFC East is going to be a tough one. When we return, all right, let's get back to Orion Kirkering. We have a list of playoff blunders. Who are we forgetting? Is there anyone that should be honorable mention? I have a couple off the top of my head. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile with a message for everyone paying big wireless way too much. Please, for the love of everything good in this world, stop. With Mint, you can get premium wireless for just $15 a month. Of course, if you enjoy overpaying, no judgments, but that's weird. Okay, one judgment.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro rate first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
The Sactown Sports 49ers Report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. The 49ers win an absolute thriller in overtime over LA, 26-23, to improve the 4-1. San Francisco getting a critical stop on 4th and 1 at the end of the game with LA driving inside the red zone. Mac Jones is now 3-0 as the 49ers starting quarterback. The Niners are back in action in Tampa Bay. Catch the game Sunday beginning at 9 o'clock right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here, talking to you about my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Now, they're upgrading their offerings to you to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience into the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. You've heard me talk about them for years as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get a second opinion on any HVAC service or replacement, but now you can also get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. And when you really think about it, how do we know how much it's supposed to cost? At the very least, you'll know you're in the ballpark, and I can all but guarantee you they'll beat the price. They'll come out for free. They'll give you a second opinion. And all you got to do is give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
It's championship night at Stockton 99 Speedway, Saturday, October 11th. Pro late models, mini stocks, legends, pure stocks, and mini modifieds in an all-out war for the crown. Kids 10 and under are always free. Grab your crew and hit Stockton99.com for tickets and info. Then be there when the dust settles and legends are made.
Hess breaks his back. Berkeley gotta find it. Throws to the plate. Oh my goodness! He throws it away, and the Dodgers have won. The Dodgers win, and they are moving on to the NLCS.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
We are a little over an hour away from your last chance, okay? Your last chance to win this Kimpton Sawyer giveaway extravaganza. Sactown Sports is giving you a chance to win a pair of lower-level seats to the Sacramento Kings versus Thunder on November 7th, a one-night stay at the Kimpton Sawyer, and $200, a gift card to Revival, downtown Sacramento's social hotspot. Enjoy elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the beam after, hopefully, a Kings win over the defending champions. Text in today's keyword, 916-339-1140. We will give you that last keyword at 12 o'clock, and you will have a chance to win that outstanding, awesome night on the town. All right, let's talk about some blunders here. We have a list, and if we are forgetting any, please be sure to let us know. Last note on Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, this was a meme because there's just a lot of grunting. Sounds like my baby, right? You know, babies, newborns, they grunt a lot at night. It makes me very uncomfortable, okay? And that's all Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo do. They just grunt and headbutt each other. And someone said Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo communicate like pit bulls. And that's exactly right. They're just grunting. I saw Cam Scatterbo walk over to someone after he scored a touchdown. No clue who this guy was. By the looks of it, it looked like not somebody in the trenches. It was not a lineman or anybody like that. Cam Scatterbo walked over to him, said something to him, and slapped him in the face. Just slapped him. Just slapped him. It was like a good job type slap, but he slapped him in the face.
There were so many dumb moments like that. Jackson Dart, who, by the way, was maybe communicating like a pit bull because he's concussed, went into the blue tent.
Yeah.
And then Cam Scatterbo walked into the blue tent.
Everybody was in the blue tent.
Yeah. They had to tell him to leave.
Dayball went into the blue tent. Dayball saw Russell Wilson throw a pass, and he literally went Friday Night Lights, Varsity Blues. He says, I don't care. And do you think, by the way, not to be that guy, but Dayball, does he get fined for that? You can't do that.
What, walking into the medical tent?
You can't, like, if we're gonna act like we care about CTE, then let's care about. You cannot barge just because your backup stinks. You cannot barge into a tent saying, and Dayball said, hey, I was just checking to see if he was good because fourth down was coming. I'm pretty sure you can't do that.
No. I mean, you can't yank him out of the tent, but I'm just going to.
Like, that was literally Varsity Blues. Do whatever you need to do to get him back on the field.
Yeah, but I'm going to assume the independent neurologist or whatever cleared him. Like, it wasn't.
I don't know, man. That was a little sketchy. You can't just barge, because coaches would do that all the time.
Yeah, but that's why they have the independent neurologists now, is so that they can't just, like, yank him back on the field with smelling salts.
How independent are they when Dayball is screaming at you, I cannot let Russell Wilson throw another pass. I cannot let him do it.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think that the Scatterbo walking in behind him was so funny. Someone on Twitter was like, Jackson Dart's been cleared from concussion protocol by Cam Scatterbo.
Seriously. So when the vibes are good, everything goes, and good for the Giants getting that W. It's been, the whole thing with who they've passed on in the past. Jackson Dart looks the part. We'll see. There's a lot to learn about him. The guy ran for 50-something yards yesterday. That's not sustainable. You saw him get cracked, and I still don't even know. Yeah, he got, a knee to the head, something like that. A lot of these guys, these young quarterbacks, like I said, they got one read and they go. So their rushing yards are normally right there, but he's a big dude. Don't get me wrong, but you running around a lot like that, and you got Russell Wilson, I'm sure Dayball is going to say, you need to start sliding, brother. You need to start sliding. And the way, this is the last thing I'll say about Jameis Winston. The way Dayball reacted made me think, why don't you just make Jameis Winston the backup?
Why haven't you traded Russell Wilson yet?
Like, why is he there? And by the way, there was a scene when Russell Wilson was talking with Cam Scatterbo. This is the type of corny stuff. And I've defended Russell Wilson for a while. But Russell Wilson was talking to Cam Scatterbo, and he was covering his mouth on the sideline. Russ, let me tell you something right now, Russ. Nobody is paying attention to what you're saying to Cam Scatterbo. I'm about 80 to 90% sure you don't have to cover your mouth, dude. It's just, you're okay. Nobody cares.
I think it's just muscle memory, because all these guys are trained to do that. Like, LeBron just does it in casual conversation now.
Nobody cares, Russ. I can guarantee whatever secrets you were telling. I can only imagine what secrets you were telling good old Cam Scatterbo. Please, Russ, you don't have to do it.
That also reminded me, because there's nothing you can tell Cam Scatterbo that's not going to be known. Did you see that ESPN story where they're interviewing all his teammates? Mm-hmm. And they were like, this guy just talks so much. He might be right, he might be wrong, but this dude just cannot stop talking.
He can't. All right, let's get to these playoff blunders. This is our list. Tell us what we're missing and tell us what was the worst. This was, I think, the first time in the National League that there was a walk-off to end a series based on an error. I believe it has happened. It happened in the AL, but I don't think it happened in the NL yet. That's what I saw yesterday.
I think technically the Rangers Blue Jays in 2016, but that was kind of like a technical error, if I remember. Like, they were trying to turn a double play and they threw it away just on a last-ditch effort.
Right. So, obviously, you got Bill Buckner, but again, that was not an elimination game. Next on the list, and this is not in order, we can order them later. Next on the list, we have J.R. Smith. That game with the Warriors. I don't know how high that should be on the list. If I'm not mistaken, was that to tie the game? I don't know if that was the
J.R. Smith?
Yeah, or was that
J.R. Smith, it was tied, so they went to overtime after that.
Right, so they would have taken the lead if he just, I guess, ran and did a layup. I got to refire that up because I always thought it was a little bit overstated, but the meme lives on forever.
It was an all-time, just hilarious that he ran out the clock because people forget that was the highest scoring playoff game of LeBron James's career. LeBron James, I'm sorry, I messed up, finals. The highest scoring finals game of LeBron James's career. And he gave literally everything he had. And after they lost that game, LeBron was like, there's nothing I can do.
No. After something like that. And that's why I felt and the next person on this list, if the Phillies did win that game, and we'll see what happens when the Mariners go back to Seattle and when the Brewers go back to Milwaukee. But the difference is the Phillies would have done it on the road. So the momentum would have been completely different. Now, they would have obviously been in front of a ridiculous Phillies crowd, and maybe they would have, tightened up a little bit. But that momentum would have been crazy if they could have pulled it off. But because of Orion Kerkering and his inability to stay calm and cool under pressure, that's not going to happen. I don't know how high this should be on the list, but I think it's the same point. We also have Mark Andrews dropping that touchdown. I think it's in the same realm because we still don't know if they would have. There's still more that would have had to be done. It wasn't going to seal anything. If that was to win the game, that's different. They were on the road. The Dodgers have 8 MVPs. They weren't doing anything offensively. You still get to the top of the inning if you don't score again. I mean, in those situations, the Dodgers were right on the edge time and time again. So I put that with the Mark Andrews dropping a touchdown last season where you ruined it, but you didn't blow a victory. You didn't have the victory in place yet.
You know what's funny? I just realized the Ravens have done this 3 years in a row now because
the fumble, the Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers fumble at the goal line was the year before that.
That was worse to me than the Mark Andrews thing.
And then the year before that, they were playing in Buffalo and Lamar threw a pick 6 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I think Teron Johnson, but that's crazy that the Ravens have had this happen 3 years in a row.
You have Chris Webber, gotta put Chris Webber in the phantom timeout. You have to, all respect to C-Web, but you got to put that there. You have, I added this one, probably in the same realm as Orion and Mark Andrews. Aaron Judge dropping that ball in the outfield in the World Series. They were in the process of trying to make that comeback. I still think the Dodgers probably win the World Series, but it was a bad look.
Okay, so we were doing some stuff back here, so apologize if you mentioned this already. Do you think, Kerkering should have thrown to first on that play? Yes. Okay, so that's kind of where I feel like it's distinctive from Judge and some of these other plays. Like it's worse. Because even though he knocked it down in front of him, all he had to do was just turn and throw to first.
Yeah.
Like there was no reason to go home.
I mean, Realmuto is pointing. The picture is everywhere. He's pointing to first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he just threw it home. So that's kind of where I feel like it goes above the you dropped a ball or you dropped a play. It's like,
well, you could. I would actually argue it the other way, and I would say all you had to do was catch the ball.
Yeah, I guess, but that wasn't the blunder, right? That is part of it with Kerkering, but the bigger misstep was
no. But I'm saying Aaron Judge's was actually worse because all you had to do was just catch the baseball. Just catch the baseball. You have Tony Romo botched hold on the extra point. Okay,
that was in a playoff game too.
You have Magic Johnson running out the clock in the 1984 NBA Finals as well. By the way, we didn't do missed field goals, we didn't do missed field goals, missed kicks. Just too many of those, right? So these are true blunders. Let us know what we forgot, and we will add them to the list. 11 o'clock. Hour coming up next. You know what that means. Time for some Kings talk. We hear from Jeff Teague and the crew, the 502 podcast. They are making an argument, and it's exactly the same argument as to why Scott Perry had to get, I'm going to say the name, not Beetlejuice, Jonathan Kuminga. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
For the latest from Kings training camp.
Tune in to Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that, and third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Your night out deserves more than the ordinary. At Revival at the Sawyer, downtown Sacramento's rooftop oasis, you'll find signature beverages, chef-crafted bites, and a view that makes every moment shine. Kick off your evening in style or wrap it up with energy, because Revival isn't just a stop, it's the heartbeat of the night. Revival, the place to see and be seen. Settle into lush indoor-outdoor seating, take in the sounds of live DJs, and to let the city energy carry you into the night. Book your reservation at revivalsacramento.com.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacramento. Buckle up. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is dropping one day of insane Milwaukee deals on Saturday, October 18th. Bare tools, batteries, and kits at insanely low prices. All Milwaukee hand tools, tool accessories, and Milwaukee pack-out boxes will be 20% off. Spend $100 and you'll get a lotto ticket for up to $1,000 off your next order. Again, that's one day only. October 18th at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports, 1140.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Got a text from Whitey Gleason. This is from USA Today. NFL investigating New York Giants application of concussion protocol. And there's a picture of Brian Daboll. Yeah, you can't. Because I'm watching. What is he doing? It was very obvious whatever he was. And then in that moment, honestly, we know what this is. Brian Daboll don't care. Think about it like this. He doesn't go in there. Russell Wilson plays soccer with the football, and down the road he gets canned. Right? Now you don't got to worry about a fine because you don't have a job. So Brian Daboll was fully willing to wear whatever fine is coming his way to get his guy. And it's always so funny to me when you see a coach. You can always tell when a coach truly believes in a quarterback. Right? Because they're almost like a proud father. Whenever they do anything, they're all buddy-buddy with them. You see it with Kyle Shanahan, and Jim Harbaugh does it with everyone. You see it with Kyle Shanahan and Brock. They're just so proud of them. There's a glow in their eye. There's a twinkle in their eye. Brian Daboll, he would laugh at any joke Jackson Dart said. You're going to save my job, brother. You're going to help my family and the future of my family. I love you, Jackson Dart. And when you see a coach get their guy, you can always tell when a coach doesn't believe in someone. Like, I don't know if that coach out there in, what is it, Canellis? I don't know if he got the
Canellis.
Yeah, the twinkle in his eye for Bryce Young. I don't think so.
Yeah, but he kind of took that job kind of knowing he was stuck with Bryce Young.
Until he can get the twinkle somewhere else.
But I mean, he benched him last year. And then he brought that thing back, and all of a sudden it was like...
But there's no twinkle there.
No.
There's no twinkle there.
Sorry, there's a really bad joke I don't have time to explain. I'm going to have to explain it in the break to you about Dave Canales' book.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no.
We'll take that offline. So that's what's happening with the New York Giants and everyone's favorite running back, Cam Scatterboo. Let's hear what's happening with the 502 podcast. Been talking a lot of Kings, the 520 podcast. We've been talking a lot, or they've been talking a lot about the Kings because I think everyone is just fascinated as to what they're attempting to do, and this is what they had to say.
If it get dicey early in the season, they're going to free some people, man. I know a lot of people would love to have a DeMontis Sabonis on their team. DeMar DeRozan could definitely help any roster out if you choose. So even Zach LaVine, a talented player, I know the money's there a little bit high, but are they going to break the same up, or they just going to have another year of purgatory? I know they get Dennis Schroeder, they have some hope, but...
That's actually, when you just said all them names, that's a solid team.
It's some solid players.
Yeah, the talent is there.
Can't none of them, yeah, they can. I was about to say can't none of them shoot threes, but Zach LaVine can shoot.
I would blow it up, though. We ain't doing nothing with them. Don't have them wasting no years out there.
See, Sacramento need to find a young player. I don't mind having Sabonis. Sabonis is a good player. He's going to be around for a couple more. He probably got 4 or 5 good years of basketball left, I would say. They need to find a young player that they can build around. Like, they don't have a young draft pick that you're excited about on this team. Like, Keegan Murray was supposed to be really good, but, like, he don't have star potential. He's a good player, but star potential,
shooter.
Yeah. They need a star. And they gave away Halliburton. They gave away Fox. They need a young star they can build around. They gave away Davion Mitchell. People that they drafted that they had stock in, they gave them away. And looking at this roster, they don't got no young talent.
Yeah.
Like, y'all see anybody on here that's like a young, they got a chance? And y'all a bad team with no, like, excitement. Like, Halliburton, even when they was bad, when they was lighting the beam, but when Halliburton was there, they had excitement about him.
And they came back that next year, like you said, the light the beam situation started. They was going crazy. One of the best seasons they've had in a very long time period.
But they had De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah, they had
that's a fact.
A young guy that you've seen, like, okay.
No all-star.
We're going to have Fox. We're going to build around Fox and Sabonis. This group, I just don't.
Yeah.
It's a wash for them, bro. It's over.
At first, it felt like they were trying to convince themselves that, hey, those are some good names. And then Jeff Teague pops in. Those are good names. It is not a good team. Jeff Teague just kind of shut it all down.
The more Jeff Teague talked, it was just like, actually.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, you're right. Blow it up. It started. This is a good team. And by the end of the 2 minutes, yeah, they got to blow it up.
It was kind of like Sabonis, DeRozan, Levine, Schroeder, which honestly, this is the thing every time I hear this podcast that does remind me of just how old the Kings are, is that these dudes who are in their late 30s and Jeff Teague, who is in the league playing with Dennis Schroeder, has been doing this podcast for 3 years now? Like, Jeff Teague, who is Dennis Schroeder's teammate, is the one who's hyping up Dennis Schroeder and DeMar DeRozan. Like, these guys are all 10-plus years in the league at this point, which is crazy given that they're only expected to win 36 games.
Yeah, and that's what they're saying. They're saying, hey, go out there and get a young star that people can be excited about. It's the same thing we've continued to say. If you're going to lose, lose with the purpose. And I see Amid Rock on the Sac chat. Can we introduce you to Neek Clifford? Yeah, you can introduce us to Neek Clifford, but at least, Neek Clifford, to be fair, Neek Clifford, he continues to excite us, but at the same time, he also probably won't be a superstar, right? They're talking about you're taking a swing on someone. Like Chicago has 3 players right now. One of them might hit. None of them might hit, but one of them might. And when I say hit, that means a couple all-stars. I'm not saying they're going to be a top 10 player, but a couple all-stars. And the Kings don't have that, which is why I think Scott Perry said, hey, I want to go out there and see if we can go get a Jonathan Kuminga. We don't know what's going to happen with the draft, with the lottery. We could continue to be 11th pick or worse. We just don't know what's going to happen. But when it comes to acquiring young talent, they were stuck between, hey, we like Kuminga, but we can't give up everything. That's why, to me, and it's not to bring it all up again, that's why, to me, especially because it is possible that you lose him in free agency, that's why the Keon Untouchable, I know it got me in a lot of trouble last time, but I'm staying on business. That's why, to me, the Keon Ellis, because you did pick up his option, making him untouchable in Kuminga talks, I'm sorry, it still does not make a lot of sense to me. It doesn't. It doesn't.
I understand, and we've kind of rehashed that situation over and over. I get it. But, I just don't understand why they felt the need to constantly defend their decision-making. Like, Dennis Schroeder is going to be this, and Zach LaVine is going to fit like this when, again, we've rehashed it over the summer. We don't have to do this segment again. But
No. But now we've watched them play. One game.
Not even a game.
One game, I said. One preseason game. All I'm saying is everybody, and I'm not victory lapping yet, and I don't want a victory lap. I want the Kings to be good. It's better for business when the Kings are good. Or if they decide to, it's also good for business when they trade their star player and fire their coach. That also seems to be good for business. But it's good for business when the Kings are good. But with that being said, everybody, no, you can't move Keon Ellis. Well, if they don't want to move Keon Ellis, and I know it was to go, so you, in part, the Valanciunas thing, you pick up his option to save some cash on the front end so you can give that money to Dennis Schroeder. All I'm saying is this could look really squirrely in these first 20 games. And at least, by the way, the sciatica, what LeBron's dealing with, at least you won't have to see LeBron in those Laker games early, by the way.
Well, I don't know how much that's going to change things. But,
I don't think so.
But to your point, though, I understand they've wanted to see this thing through, and they were only going to get Kuminga if they were able to get rid of a player they don't really care that much about, in that case being Malik Monk. Clearly, since they've tried to shop him multiple times now. Mm-hmm. But even though they've decided they want to see it through, it feels like there's constantly been the defense all summer of, well, are you really sure you want to see this thing through? Because it seems like the first chance you get, you're going to kind of jump to the next thing, which is tough. Even to Amadrock's point with Neek Clifford, if Neek Clifford, best case scenario for his career, he's Josh Hart, right? Josh Hart was a late first-round pick. It took Josh Hart 4 different teams to actually become Josh Hart. And then someone might make the point, oh, well, Neek Clifford's older now, so he's closer to his prime. Okay, Josh Hart didn't have his first full season as a starter, on a team that made the playoffs, not unlike those terrible Pelicans teams. He didn't have his first full year as a starter until he was 27. Mm-hmm. So, I don't think that even Neek Clifford, you look at the ceiling being high enough or the timeline being good enough in order for them to actually do anything with it. I mean, his first year on the Knicks, he was 28, and that was really when Josh Hart wasn't being traded for a late first-round pick.
Yeah.
So I just don't see holding up Neek Clifford as this bastion for development being something that is contrary to Jeff Teague's point.
No. And I don't know. I think there are people that feel like that. And Amid Rock, I don't know if he was being facetious or being serious, maybe a little bit of both, Because when Chris posted about it, somebody also then said, well, why don't they mention Nick Clifford? Because they're not talking about a good, solid NBA player. They're talking about a gamble. Yesterday, we talked about a lottery ticket. That's what they're talking about. The Kings don't have that. Nick Clifford is 23 years old. He's going to be a solid NBA player. I believe so. But I don't see star. Let me put it to you like this. They weren't drafting him to be a star. You don't draft 23-year-olds in the first round thinking they will become a star. Now, look, Jalen Brunson was in it. I don't think he was 23, but similar situation. The difference is Brunson was a star on the highest stage at Villanova and won a national championship.
And I think was college player of the year.
That's different. And they just thought he's undersized. It won't translate. And even still, people didn't believe him. So they didn't see it there. You never know. But from their perspective, you're not going to look at the profile of Nick Clifford and say, hey, the Kings got their future star that they are hoping develops. And Amid Rock is saying he's being serious. We can give him some time to develop. Again, there's a difference between an NBA player and what they're talking about. They're talking about a star in the league and somebody they think that, again, they weren't drafted. He was drafted. Nick Clifford was drafted to help now. It's very rare unless you're taking a Cooper Flag, but you're drafting a guy with somewhat of a lower ceiling because he's ready. He's more so ready now. A ceiling is not going to be as high if you're drafting somebody at 23. And that is no disrespect to Nick Clifford. That's the typical reality. And like I said, good for business if I'm wrong. I hope he is the next top 10 player in the NBA, but he's probably not. And I don't think, and again, you take chances on random 18 and 19-year-olds and you see what happens there when you're trying to go for the lottery ticket. The Kings purposely didn't do that. They drafted someone 5 years older than some of these guys that were drafted.
Well, and that was the same argument we had years ago with Keegan Murray, because I remember during that draft, it was like Keegan Murray or Jaden Ivey or Benedict Mathurin. Like, even if you thought the ceiling was higher for Keegan and he was a better fit on what they needed, Keegan was still a year and a half older than all of those guys. So, like, Keegan might be better than Benedict Mathurin now, but Benedict Mathurin still has more room to grow. Like, Benedict Mathurin now is where Keegan was in 2024.
Yeah.
And
this is, and not to cut you off, but just by the way, this is a dangerous season for the Pacers because this is the season, this is where the Warriors screwed up, right? When Clay went down and Steph had a flat top. He had crazy hair at that point in time, and they had Kai Bowman, and they were able to get, this is where they stacked up and got James Wiseman, or the picks, right? They got the James Wiseman pick, they got the Kuminga pick, and they got the Moses Moody pick. It was a blunder. You could put that in our list of blunders, just organizational blunders. It was a blunder, but that's what they did. The Pacers could do a lot, not to get too off topic, but Benedict Mathurin is going to get all the development he wants. And they've already talked about that. Benedict Mathurin, I know Andrew Nembhard's a little banged up, but all these guys are going to get to develop. They're going to stink. Then they're going to get another draft pick that they own. So, again, that's them heading in a certain direction. And they already have their lottery pick with Tyrese Halliburton. I wonder where they got him from. And
it's our lottery pick.
It was. You had one. You didn't know it, but you had one.
It was the 12th pick in the draft.
You know what the Kings did? And I don't know if I could talk about this as Allen Stiles. So, you know what they did? It's Schmal and Miles, right? You got a parlay, okay? You got the parlay, and you've hit on it's a 5-leg parlay. You've hit on the first, and let's say $5 for 5,000, right? $5 for 5,000. The odds are crazy that you're going to hit. So you put in $5, the first 3 legs hit. So now it says it allows you to cash out if you want. You can cash out for $1,000, right? Whoa, I put in $5. I could cash out right now for $1,000. And you make the decision to cash out now, the next 2 legs hit, and you could have made $5,000. Instead, you walk away with $1,000. That's literally the Domantas Sabonis Tyrese Halliburton trade.
Yeah, but I also think that they kind of just cashed in early on what Tyrese Halliburton could have been, which they did because Monty McNair had to make the playoffs or he was going to get fired. And in the end, it kind of worked out.
Yeah.
but not well enough to what Tyrese is going to be.
No, but that's what the decision was at that point in time. So, yeah, that's what the Jeff Teague pod, what they're talking about, what a lot of people are talking about, and how do you get it done? And they asked the question whether or not it'll get blown up. I'm overreacting to the preseason game. That's why I'm really excited to watch tonight and not have to come into the studio tomorrow. Just watch and just enjoy the game as much as I can and see what they're able to do. But if it looks bad again, y'all better brace yourself for Monday because they don't play Sunday, right?
They play Wednesday next.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So then we have to wait until Wednesday to see him again. Please show up tonight. Please.
Give you something positive.
Everybody's available as well. Just wanted to put that out there. That was reported. Everybody available tonight. And we'll discuss later in the show what we're looking forward to seeing tonight as they take on a really hungry Blazers team. And really, I mean, you flip a coin. A lot of people have the Blazers picked to finish ahead of the Kings. Some people, like Kevin Pelton of ESPN, has the Kings picked to finish in front of the Blazers. I think it could go either way. I think they're going to finish ahead of the Blazers. Kyle, I think you believe the Blazers will finish ahead of the Kings.
Oh, big Blazers guy over here.
Yeah.
They're last year's Rockets, man. They could be something nice.
Who's their guy, though?
What do you mean?
Who's their guy? Who's their all-star?
That's a good point. I mean, I would say if you made me pick which one of them is going to be an all-star, I'd say Denny.
Thank you.
Yeah, but
by the way, you know what? And I'm not, and full disclosure, I'm not going to as many Kings games this season because, we got the two young ones and it'll be tough. But I will make sure I show up to a Portland Trailblazers game because I'm not going to put them out on blast. Some of them you might hear on these here airwaves. But last season, I got laughed at the dinner table when I talked about comparing Denny Avdia to Keegan Murray. And I'm going to find those people as we're enjoying our lovely media meal, and I'm going to ask them, what's funny now? What's funny now? And I don't take pride in saying that, but they told me I was crazy. Crazy.
I'm just kind of looking through last year. Yes, Simons was their leading scorer last year. I'll say this, Shaedon Sharpe can be their Jalen Green, because remember with the Rockets last year, when the Rockets first played the Kings, they didn't have a 20-point scorer on that team, and that was kind of the problem. And then eventually, once the new year came around, they were like, all right, Jalen Green, go ahead and cook. And I think Jalen Green averaged like 24 points per game the second half of the season. Yeah. So if they give it to Shaedon Sharpe, I mean, it was supposed to be Scoot, right? It was supposed to be like, Scoot, it's now or never, buddy. You want to cook? We're giving you every chance in the world. But I think it's going to be Shaedon Sharpe, Denny Avdia. Drew Holiday is going to get to shoot for the first time in 2 years. We'll see if his shot comes back because he wasn't allowed to play offense on the Celtics. So we'll see how I'm a big Blazers guy, but I also acknowledge they could be bad.
Well, the other thing is, too, it wasn't the same as the Keon Ellis thing, but remember the doghouse with Shaedon Sharpe, how he was coming off the bench, how we got to teach him how to play the right way, and then he was the best sixth man coming off the bench. I think they got to stop that.
Well,
stop that nonsense. It's nonsense.
They got rid of Simons, so they clearly committed to Sharpe over him.
Yeah, so I think they're done with that nonsense, and I can't wait, Kyle, if the Kings lose tonight, man, and I shouldn't be saying this, man, the defensive sets they were throwing at us, it was just real complex stuff.
I mean, Yang Hansen, how are you supposed to stop that? 7 foot tall passing as a center.
This is who they started against the Warriors. They lost that game, by the way. Tumani Kamara, Jeremy Grant. I saw somebody say that Jeremy Grant just makes them sad. And then someone asked them to elaborate, and they said, he just gets paid a lot of money. He doesn't really impact the game. He should be a much lesser role on a really good team. And he's just kind of in the way in Portland.
Yeah, he's still got 3 years, $100 million left on that contract.
So they started Tumani Kamara, Jeremy Grant, Donovan Clingan, Drew Holiday, and Shaedon Sharpe. You know who had a nice game against the Warriors? Everyone's favorite Murray besides Keegan, Chris Murray, 12 points in 19 minutes. I actually turned that on and saw him hit a corner three, and I thought, I hope none of my listeners are watching this because I'm going to have to hear it because I know y'all love Chris Murray. By the way, Kyle, to that point, Denny Avdia, 20 minutes, 14 points, but he didn't start. So what are they doing? So Denny's going to come off the bench? That's egregious.
No, Jeremy Grant's going to come off the bench. I promise you.
He started. Yang Hansen played 21 minutes, 4 points, 4 rebounds. I am excited to watch Yang Hansen because honestly, I haven't really watched him as much. And the best King that never was, Sidy Cissoko. He played 15 minutes. I need to watch this guy.
I mean, Sidy Cissoko is their Maxime Reynaud at this point.
Isn't he like 6'8"? Isn't he a big boy?
He's a big dude. Power forward. We could use one of those.
I'm locked in. I'm locked in tonight. I'm locked into my future quarterbacks tomorrow, Indiana and Oregon.
Oh, by the way, I looked up the schedule tomorrow. So you got Indiana, Oregon, 12:30. Right into 4:30, LSU, South Carolina. Nussmeier versus Sellers.
Oh, I'm locked in.
One of them is going to be the Raiders quarterback.
My wife was trying to say, hey, we should go out somewhere tomorrow as a fam. You got to pack up the kids. Look, man, we can go after I watch these future quarterbacks. How about that?
So at 8:30 p.m.?
We'll figure it out. Then Sunday is NFL. Maybe we got to do something before the games on Sunday, about 8 a.m.
Tomorrow, Brewers, Cubs, Game 5.
Yeah, it's just, I just tell her, it's just not a good time for me.
No.
It's just not a good time for me right now. 916-339.
I don't know. Sunday might be a good time because the Raiders play the Titans.
I'm not watching that. That's a game I will not watch. If I'm watching it to see how good Cam Ward will play because he's going to ball out.
It's also kind of not a letdown game, but like this is a Titans won a game they weren't supposed to win, and now everyone's going to be like, oh, better watch out for the Titans.
Yeah,
now.
This has Raiders figuring it out for a week written all over it.
Yeah, just Raiders win by 21, and people are like, Pete Carroll's got this thing going in the right direction.
Next segment, we are going to discuss whether or not the Kings will put their money where their mouth is or the other way around. And will they be open to do whatever it takes to win? If there is a lineup that is so obvious and obviously better than what they're currently putting out, would they be willing to change it? My answer may surprise you or may not surprise you. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
For the latest from Kings training camp.
Tune in to Sactown Sports 1140.
This message is brought to you by Navy Federal Credit Union. As a credit union dedicated to serving all veterans, active duty, and their families, we know that during the holiday season, every little bit counts. That's why for a limited time, you could earn a $250 cash bonus when you spend $2,500 on the Cash Rewards and Cash Rewards Plus cards in the first 90 days. Give joy, get joy. Join now at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union, our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA. Cashback terms and conditions apply. Visit NavyFederal.org/cash rewards for details. Offer ends 1/1/26.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Let's go! You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening for the Drive into Fall event?
When it comes to getting the right truck, options are important. So this month at Hoblet, you have two options that will save you thousands. Right now, save up to $9,000 off MSRP on the brand new 2026 Ram 1500 Crew Cabs. Or you can save thousands on finance charges with 0% interest for 60 months.
I'm sorry, did you just say 0% financing? I thought those days were long gone.
Not at Hoblet. We're always looking for ways to save you money. Plus, we have Northern California's best selection of Ram trucks with hundreds of new Rams available.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$9,000 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 1500 Laramie after $6,000 factory rebates and $3,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $2,000 select inventory bonus cash, $500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit. Special 0% for 60-month financing in lieu of rebates. No down payment required on approved credit. Must have 700 plus FICO to qualify. 1666 per thousand borrowed. 5% savings. See dealer for details.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey man, gaining weight, low energy, lost drive? It could be your testosterone. Revive Men's Health Sacramento helps men get their edge back. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations.
When men start treatment, it's not just their labs that change. You see it in their posture, their energy, and how they walk into the room. That's why I do what I do.
Call 916-619-3000 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 916-619-3000. Or schedule anytime at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
So I need a list, right? There's no free promotion, don't get me wrong, but it's hard to explain this stuff without saying names, right? So I, like I said, my wife and now my number one, okay, they love the pumpkin patches. We already went to one. It was in West Sac. It was fun. We went with the in-laws, but we might go again. Like I said, my wife wants to go to, she wants to, a lot of these breweries are family friendly. Right. So, like I said, I want to stay home and I got to watch my future QBs that the Raiders won't take because they have to take Sam Darnold. But if we do have to go out, I send her stuff and I saw this one. Can anybody help me with some of these pumpkin patches that are out here that are more new age, that have some, adult bevies and stuff? The last one I sent her was this Dueling Dogs Brewing. Anyone got a review on that? It's in Lincoln, California. I sent her that one. It looks pretty cool. Okay, one of these Instagrams that is, all these Instagrams make everything look great. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to take her tomorrow. Because if I got to miss my future quarterbacks, I need to have some fun. Okay?
When you say new age or 21st century event,
yes.
is that just code word for adult beverages?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just something that...
It means a bar.
Yeah, something people can drink at.
Pumpkins and whatever P word rhymes with that. But
once you get to a certain age of adulthood, you just need to go to a place where if you know what goes south, there's an open bar.
That's what I'm saying. If I'm missing out on Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore, if I got to miss that game, but I'm going to win some brownie points, I want to find one of these new age places. So help me out here. Have you gone anywhere? We went to one last year. That one, I can't remember the name of it, but it's pretty out there. Even more out there than Lincoln, because I'm in Natoma. So help me out with some of these spots. If I got to be out here, please, I'm counting on you. Sactown Sports is giving you a chance to win a pair of lower level seats to the Sacramento Kings versus Oklahoma City on November 7th, a one-night stay at the Kimpton Sawyer, and $200 gift card to Revival, downtown Sacramento's social hotspot. Enjoy elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the beam after a Kings win, defending their home court and beating the defending champs. We will get you that keyword in 30 minutes, people. 30 minutes. Vincent Ramirez says you got to stream it from your phone. Look, man, I can't look down and Now, baby toddler number 1 is in a corn, the one that we went to in West Sac. It was basically a sand box with corn. I still got corn in my Jordans from the first time we went. It's just hard corn. And we were having a lot of fun in the corn, but I can't be streaming and playing in corn.
So you're saying it's sand mixed with corn, or the sand has been replaced by corn?
It's just corn.
Okay.
And one kid was throwing the corn. And look, man, I'm not going to shade parents, but this woman's not paying attention. The kid threw corn at my wife, and I don't know how to talk to these kids. Hey, kid. Hey, buddy. That's my normal go-to. Hey, bud. Can you not? Can you not? And you say it loud enough for the parent to hear. Hey, bud, can you not throw the corn?
Sounds like that kid was a real cornball, huh?
Yeah. Well, nicely done. Yeah. No. Hey, bud. Don't like corn thrown at us. Thanks for checking, though. Thanks for checking. 916-339-1140. As we ask the question, do you think the Kings will be open to do whatever it takes to win? And what do I mean by that? Well, last season we had the conversation that Malik Monk, who was starting at the time, Malik Monk, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, all three of them starting at one time, doesn't add up, right? And they had a negative plus minus. It was not good. They weren't winning games, but the money was the money. So it made it tough to say, hey, we're going to move on from that or whatever it is. With that being said, I'm asking the question now. Doug Christie, no nonsense. Hey, the best guy, whoever's going to put us in the best position to win, that's who we're going to go with. You would think that Doug Christie would be willing to do that, right? You would think that Doug Christie would be willing to do that. Now, we know Zach LaVine kind of more so fits the model. He's working harder defensively. And, yes, he makes a lot of money, but he also fits the mold of a three-point shooter at a high level. And that's just kind of what it is. And this all normally comes back to the one, the only DeMar DeRozan. Now, we'll see what works and what it looks like with Dennis Schroeder at the helm, but in the very small sample size that we have, look very similar. And if you put somebody else in there to make them even better defensively, maybe they would gel more and flow better on offense, depending on what the hell offense they're even trying to run. Because I didn't see much. Somebody said it looks like just different teams playing basketball. It looked like line changes, right, based on how they were running the offense. And it's still early, but we'll see. Would the Kings be willing to do whatever it takes to win? I'm going to put it to you like this. My junior year at Temple University, like I've said before, there was a new coach, right? This is not the coach that recruited me and that recruiting class, me and a couple other JUCO guys and the freshmen. So he had no connection to us. He's coming in. We're juniors. There's obviously seniors. And there was a senior, a center fielder, who was under the Mendoza line all season long. He didn't sit a game. You know why? Because that coach was not in a position to rock the boat. He didn't think we were going to be very good anyway. We weren't. And he's not going to tick off seniors on the way out just to win a couple more games. The same way, if I'm Doug Christie, DeMar DeRozan has, for lack of a better term, or maybe it's not even lack of a better term, maybe it's the correct term, he's earned the right to start on a team that's projected to win 34 games. Even if sitting him might help them win more than 34 games. So if you're asking me the question, do I think that Doug Christie would have it in him to sit DeMar DeRozan if that made sense the same way it kind of would have made sense last season? As much as Doug Christie sounds like that college coach, that high school coach will do whatever it takes to win. Look, college has NIL now, so I can't even use that example the same way. But high school, they ain't getting paid yet. So it's a little bit different. You play unless somebody's giving money, like it happens at De La Salle, probably at Jesuit too. All these private schools are the same. But it's not the same situation as what you are paying someone, as well as the cachet behind someone. So, long story short, do I think Doug Christie is willing to do whatever it takes to win in that capacity? Kyle Ledbetter, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. And the reason I'm going to say no is because I think that he would be in enough conversation with Scott Perry that instead of having a conversation about DeMar DeRozan sitting the bench, they would just start shopping him. And they would just respect him, try to get him to a contender and go from there. I do not think DeMar DeRozan will ever sit the bench in Sacramento. They would rather just move on from him.
Well, what if it happens in like November or December?
That's the whole point of this convo. I don't think they'll do it.
Interesting. Well, think about how much back and forth we had last year when it was Malik Monk versus Keon Ellis going to the bench.
Right.
And how Doug was just like, doesn't matter who starts, it's who finishes. And that was Malik Monk, who respectfully, Scott Perry came in and tried to immediately move on from.
Right.
So imagine how it's going to go with DeMar DeRozan, where like one of the things that we've been hearing all summer, or at least I have, is, your reputation across the league will take a hit if you do wrong by someone who is so well respected, like DeMar DeRozan. Like, their reputation amongst players is not great, but it definitely takes a hit if the one guy who had that cachet, a future Hall of Famer, comes in and they don't do right by him at the end, especially someone as revered across the league as DeMar DeRozan. Like, other than Drake, you don't hear anyone who has a bad thing to say about DeMar DeRozan, and even Drake's bad thing is like, oh, we won a championship without you. So I think that's kind of the tough.
And more people think that Drake is an idiot more so than, hey, he really got DeMar on that one.
But also, it's I'm just being silly. Like, his peers respect DeMar DeRozan in a way that is very prevalent. Like we can just see it in the way people talk about DeMar DeRozan. But doing wrong by him is going to look very poorly upon that organization and upon that coaching staff. So I understand why it's not. Sometimes you're playing the long game, right? It's not, to your point, it's not just about doing what has to be done to win right now. It's doing what has to be done to win now and in the future. Sometimes you got to weigh those decisions.
Yeah, and another part of this is, as our parents have told us before, pick your battles. And if you're Doug Christie, this isn't a battle that I think is worth it. He's on his contract isn't guaranteed next season. And Doug Christie may have had a conversation with Scott Perry, right? Or even with ownership, to where it's, hey, look, we're not going to count it against you because we know the tough spot that all of you are in. Because, and that's not to say that DeMar DeRozan shouldn't start. I'm just saying, based on what we saw last year, it's the easiest example. And yeah, no, you're not sitting $47 million on the bench in Zach LaVine. That's another question. And sure, I mean, they did it in Phoenix with Bradley Beal, but they also were trying to get Bradley Beal out of town, so it was a little bit different. When we return, let's run that daily tankathon. Also, Danny Green has some words on why Russell Westbrook isn't back in Denver. And I wake up this morning, I see Legion Hoops, one of the biggest NBA outlet aggregators. And who are they quoting? Carmichael Dave? What's he talking about with Russell Westbrook? He got sources? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here, talking to you about my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Now, they're upgrading their offerings to you to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience into the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. And you've heard me talk about them for years as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get a second opinion on any HVAC service or replacement, but now you can also get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. And when you really think about it, how do we know how much it's supposed to cost? At the very least, you'll know you're in the ballpark, and I can all but guarantee you they'll beat the price. They'll come out for free. They'll give you a second opinion. And all you got to do is give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Game night in Sacramento? Light up your night at Revival at the Sawyer. This rooftop hotspot is where the city comes alive. Elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the Golden One Center. Celebrate the wins, escape the chaos, and be part of the scene before, during, and after every Kings game. Revival, the place to see and be seen. When the final buzzer sounds, the energy doesn't stop. It just moves upstairs. Join fellow fans, stay close to the action, and make every Kings night unforgettable. Book your game day reservation at revivalsacramento.com.
Sacramento. Buckle up. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is dropping one day of insane DeWalt deals on October 18th. Bare tools, batteries, and kits will be at insanely low prices. Spend $1,000 on DeWalt products and get $75 off your order instantly. Spend $100 and get a lotto scratcher with prizes up to $1,000 off your next order. That's one day only. October 18th at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRAVEL to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRAVEL for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Stockton 99 Speedway, Saturday, October 18th. It's championship night. Late models, modified, sprint cars, and the insane trailer racing. Plus a huge fireworks show to light up the sky. Tickets start at just $20. Don't miss the season finale. Stockton99.com.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
"15 minutes away from your chance to win $200 to Revival, downtown Sacramento social hotspot. Go get a haircut, get your swag right, your aura right. You can aura farm there. That's what the kids say.
To keep your swag right.
That's right.
To keep your swag right.
Kings versus Thunder. You get
to keep your swag right.
You get to see some high-level basketball.
Oxtails.
Oh my goodness. I got to be at that game.
Greens.
Kings, Thunder, and of course, the nightcap at Kempton Sawyer. That's what we're talking about. Your last chance.
I guess we should specify what that means.
You get a free night at the Kimpton Sawyer. We're going to give you that keyword to text in, 916-339-1140. And if you text in, you will be entered into that group. Once you're entered into that group, you got a chance to win. 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. So this Russell Westbrook thing continues on, and we have the quote from Carmichael Dave. But first, we are going to hear from a throwback name, Danny Green, who had a nice career, champion in the NBA. Danny Green, I don't know if he's breaking news. I think we've heard some of this, but this is Danny Green on what happened in Denver and why he opted out and just decided to take his chance and maybe have to go overseas. Here it is.
I thought he had something guaranteed or something already in the books, like somebody's interested. For you to opt out, from what I heard, is that they were not planning on to play him at all this year, even behind certain guys that he should be above. I feel like Russ is more out of pocket of opting out of his contract when not having one in place already. You still take the guarantee, make him trade you, make him get you, whatever. You take the guaranteed money unless you know for sure that you have somebody in place.
You know how it goes, Danny. Sometimes GMs.
Yeah, some people lie, some people take back. So say, oh yeah, I'm interested, and they disappear. And the market says, well, we don't have space. You know, everybody wants to Damian Lillard love, but not everybody's gonna get it.
Yeah, and it's funny because we've seen this before with the Nuggets. I don't know. The Nuggets are very confusing, right? Obviously, they got Jokic, they got their core. And Michael Porter Jr., you would have thought is a part of their core. They paid him too much. They moved on for him. They're able to get Cam Johnson. Great move for them. But they also have guys that they add to the team because their younger players are not that good. And Christian Brown is, but outside of that, they're looking for other vets to help out there, and they just haven't been able to make it work. Dario Saric couldn't even get on the court. Russell Westbrook got people fired. Okay, Mike Malone, the whole thing was just very confusing. They were winning games because of him, losing games because of him. BetUS still has the Kings as the betting favorite at plus 150 for Russell Westbrook's next team. They have the Rockets at plus 200 for his next team. The Mavericks at plus 200 if they've had enough of D'Angelo Russell. The Warriors at plus 300 and the New York Knicks at plus 350, even though we know that it sounds like he already had a conversation with the Knicks, which is funny because they have 5 teams on this list, but it's almost as if they don't have the correct destination to even bet on, according to our own Carmichael Dave. Here's the quote from this morning. I heard something from someone I trust enough to not blow off what they said. He may have an offer in China for about half a season, and it's dang near quadruple what the Kings could offer him. If that's what you want to do, Russell Westbrook would go crazy overseas, anywhere, right? But I think he would be appreciated even more overseas. I think he would be appreciated in Sacramento because Sacramento would just love to have another Hall of Famer and just a lot of star power and just the brand that he brings. I think people would really appreciate him out here, but he goes out to China, and I think that would break their internet out there. That would be a huge story for them. And sounds like the money is a thing. Now, that's always the question, right? And we're not pocket watching here, but when you made a decent amount of money in your career, what is it that you want? Now, I don't know if there's actually a conversation, or I don't know if there is a connection between the Rockets and Russell Westbrook outside of KD being on Up and Adams' show with Kay Adams is saying, oh, yeah, it would be great to have Russell Westbrook back. We don't know if there's been any actual conversations made, because if the Rockets aren't interested, and if you're Russ, I mean, at least you could say, hey, I did something different. You know, so many people look at going overseas as a negative, but you could also look at it as a positive. Hey, this is something I've never done before, and they're going to treat me like a freaking god out there. Why not? You're not winning anything with the Kings. I mean, you might sneak it. I still believe you could sneak into the 8 seed, and I think Russell Westbrook would help them do that. But they're not beating the Thunder. There's not going to be a parade. The one thing Russell Westbrook's missing is a ring. So if none of the teams that could get you a ring are interested in you, or it just hasn't worked out, that's why, you know, the Knicks, of course, and the Rockets, of course, teams like that, Would you rather go to the Kings? And I guess, I don't know, you're still in the NBA, don't get me wrong, and there's a level to that, or be a god in China. I don't know. That's up to Russell, and get paid more. That's up to Russell Westbrook.
Yeah, and you're obviously away from your family for a year, which is part of the conversation. And based on him shooting free throws on a yacht, I don't know how much the money is changing his life necessarily to play for $5 million with the Nuggets or $15 million in China. It's obviously a lot of money, but Russell Westbrook, again, he's got more money than God at this point. He's had multiple max contracts. It's kind of just, what do you want with the rest of your career kind of situation, like you just outlined, which, I mean, that's just something you've got to stare into your soul and talk and ask about, which, we've joked before. I don't know if Russell Westbrook comes off as the most self-aware and introspective person.
It has to happen at some point, though.
I mean, I agree, but I think once the calls stop, it's a lot easier. And Sacramento, who knows what the situation is, whether they're still trying or they're saying, hey, we'll check back in December or something like that. But if we get to a certain point and the calls just aren't coming, I think it becomes easier for Russ to say, okay, now I'll go spend 4 months in China, do a media tour, and we'll play a few basketball games.
The same thing kind of connects to playing with one team, right? I played with one team my whole career, which rarely happens these days. We think Steph Curry will do it. Off the top of my head, it doesn't feel like Giannis is going to do it.
Devin Booker with his lowriders.
Yes, Devin Booker is a lifer. I don't even know what's going to happen with the crew out in Boston. I don't know if Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown will play their whole careers with the Celtics, and you just don't know nowadays.
Jaylen Brown, no. Tatum, maybe.
Yeah, Jokic, all the stars right now, Jokic, Shea, you just don't know.
Embiid, they're trying to get rid of him.
Right, but for another level of it, I played in the NBA my whole career. I never, quote unquote, had to go overseas. Now, that's where this gets very interesting with Russell Westbrook, and it becomes what he wants. Because, Russ, you don't have to go overseas. You don't have to. You can retire. You've done plenty. You could win a championship in China, but you're not winning an NBA championship if you go to China or if you go to Sacramento. So what is it that you want to accomplish? Do you want to be able to say, I never, because that's the thing. Some players have to go. We talked about this with Isaiah Thomas and certain guys. I don't, whether they want to go or not overseas. Some people say, hey, go overseas and ball out, right? Kemba Walker did that. Plenty of players have done that. Some players just don't really want to do that, and they don't have to. That's a different situation than this. Russ is the only one that I don't want to hang him up yet, right? He could easily hang him up, and everyone would say it'd been a great career from Russ, right?
First ballot Hall of Famer.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Arguably the most accomplished player without a ring.
So the idea, the only reason he, quote unquote, has to go, quote, overseas is because he himself wants to keep playing. It's not as if he had to, like Yabusele had to go. He went over to France. Obviously, he played for the French team, played back in Europe, and now is back in the NBA. That was something he, quote unquote, had to do. Russell Westbrook doesn't have to do anything. It's just a matter of what he wants to do. When we return, what are we looking to see tonight from the Sacramento Kings in their second preseason game? And the All-NBA podcast with Tim Legler gives ceilings for every NBA team. You will not believe, or maybe you will, where they place the Kings. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The deals are on now at the model year-end sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save on year-end models and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Hello, I'm Frank Cockle with Retirement Security Centers with a weekly economic update. When Washington shutters its doors, do markets tumble? History says not necessarily. Since 1976, the U.S. has endured over 20 government shutdowns, and during those periods, the S&P 500 averaged a modest gain of 0.3%. In the 35-day 2018-2019 shutdown, for example, the S&P 500 returned 10.3%. What about afterward? In the 12 months following the December 2018 shutdown, the S&P 500 gained 26.2%. Across multiple shutdowns, the average 12-month gain has been about 16.95%. That's not to say that shutdowns are benign. They tend to increase volatility, especially in sectors tied to federal spending, and can delay critical economic data releases. But the overarching lesson, markets tend to look through the political noise and focus on fundamentals like earnings, growth, and interest rates. So when the next shutdown looms, remember, headlines can rattle nerves, but history suggests the markets are resilient. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Mosaic Wealth, member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
Everybody knows that Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is the spot to get yourself a brand new car. That's why people are coming from all over. Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville. But they also have the best selection of pre-owned vehicles. All makes and models, every one of them top quality, hand-selected by General Manager Chuck Dean. Over 70 vehicles below $30,000, over 25 below $20,000. You can see that full lineup at SacSuperstore.com, and if you find a lower price somewhere else, they'll match it. And on top of that, the best car buying experience anywhere. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game, offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sacramento. Buckle up. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is dropping 1 day of insane Milwaukee deals on Saturday, October 18th. Bare tools, batteries, and kits at insanely low prices. All Milwaukee hand tools, tool accessories, and Milwaukee pack-out boxes will be 20% off. Spend $100 and you'll get a lotto ticket for up to $1,000 off your next order. Again, that's 1 day only. October 18th at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
12 o'clock on the dot, which means it's time.
Sensual Stephen A. Smith is back.
I'm sure it's a nice, cozy California king-size bed. At least a king. It's at least a king. You know California kings, by the way? California kings are just wider. They're not longer. They're not longer. They're just wider.
But what's the difference between that and a queen?
Excuse me?
I don't know. I'm just trying to be silly. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Beds.
Yeah, I know. So I'm saying king or queen size bed.
King is big. And then you have the California king. But I thought initially when we were bed shopping that the California king was just bigger in general. What they told me is that the length is the same, but the width is what the difference maker is.
What about the height?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know. It's not any higher, right? You put it on whatever box spring, bed spring you want. But yeah, California kings are just wider than kings. So all you tall kings out there, don't get tricked into getting California king unless you find something where the length is different, because most of them are just wider. Just want to let you know.
Allen's trying to keep you from losing out.
I'm just saying because I'm like, oh, this is cool. It's fine for me, but if you buy in a bigger bed because you think it's more leg room, it's not. You got to check.
But it's more...
Yeah, it's more...
horizontal.
But, I mean, if you're with that special someone, you don't really need that much space anyway.
You could always use a few inches wider.
You get hot. It get hot at the Kempton Sawyer. Sactown Sports giving you a chance to win a pair of lower-level seats to the Sacramento Kings versus Oklahoma City Thunder. They play November 7th, a one-night stay at the Kempton Sawyer. And a $200 gift card to Revival, downtown Sacramento's social hotspot. Enjoy elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the beam after a Kings win over the defending champs. Text in today's keyword to 916-339-1140 for your chance to win. And today's keyword is Ellis. Okay, the keyword is Ellis, all right? ELLIS. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140.
I really just be chilling for real.
Now everybody is on the chat saying that the Kings are longer. That's what they're telling me. The king is longer. That's not what I was told.
All right, do we have to fact check this?
They're telling me I have it backwards, that a California king, I guess, is longer but not wider.
A California, well, I should double check. This Google AI is worthless.
No, you can trust it.
No, I'm not going to trust the Google AI. Let's see. This is from Sleepolopolis.
You know what they're saying? You know what it is? A king, and I think I'm saying the same thing. A king is longer than a queen, but the California king is wider than the king. That's what I said.
So a California king is 72 inches by 84 inches.
Okay.
A normal king is 76 by 80. So the California king is a little smaller this way, but a little more foot room than a king.
So somebody lied to me.
So,
I can't remember where I was, but
I got to
somebody
compare
lied
that to the queen now.
No. We don't care about we love queens, but we don't care about the queen. We're talking about king versus California king.
Yeah,
so
no.
it is longer.
It is longer and narrower.
More narrower.
Yes.
So somebody lied to. You know what? Hold on. Did I get played? Did they look at me and say this brother doesn't need a California? Did they say, look, homie, let me save you some cash. You don't need a California king.
No, they said the California king is for you. You know why?
Yeah.
4 less inches of legroom. They took one look at you and said, you don't need those 4 extra inches off the end of the bed.
They looked me up and down and said, you're a king guy. You don't need a California king.
I think he's short, Tim.
Yeah.
I think he's short.
You don't need
those extra 4 inches.
Bro, let me save you some cash. You look like a king dude. You're a king. You don't need California king. Come on over here. That's like, what is it? What's that one? What is the name of? It's a store and it's all for big men. It's like XXL. Everything is double XXL.
DXL.
Yes, DXL. That's just I'm always working with the sales team. That's just an endorsement that I'm just never gonna get, brother.
We could do it sarcastically.
That's an endorsement your homie Allen is just never gonna get. 916. If I go to the Kempton Sawyer, I'm gonna say, damn it, give me. I will only stay in a California king. You will not gaslight me.
Here's the interesting thing, though. A standard king, in terms of square inches, 6,080. California king, in terms of square inches, 6,048. So technically, the standard king is larger in totality. There's more surface area, but it is wider and shorter.
Regular, yeah. Everyone's saying regular kings are wider. But specifically California kings, they are longer. Somebody lied to me, man, or I heard wrong.
Technically, standard king, you're getting more surface area. Is this a scam?
Yeah, the whole thing is a scam.
No.
You remember McDonald's when they pour the fries into 3 different sizes and they all look the same?
Or the soda?
Yes.
Yeah, with the ice. So wait, does the California king is more expensive than the king?
I believe so.
Oh, yeah, then they're totally running game here because in terms of surface area, the California king is smaller than the standard king. They are totally running game on people who need a couple extra inches on the end.
I know there's somebody out there that works at an unnamed bed place, right? Furniture. Call in and clear this up for us and tell me, did I get lied to because of my stature. 916-339-1140.
Yeah, person who works at Sleep Train, call in.
Well, I said nameless, but there goes Kyle again.
Well, Sleep Train doesn't exist anymore. That was the joke.
A king is more like a square. California King is more like a rectangle. Call in. And they're not going to play with me like this. I'm going to go back. It was in Alameda. I will drive back and say, did you play me? 916-339-1140. What are we looking to see tonight from the Sacramento Kings? Not the California King. The Sacramento Kings.
Senor Segway strikes again.
I mean, technically, if the Golden State Warriors are going to call themselves Golden State.
Okay, we got to get back on the sleep train here, okay? We got to get back on the sleep train tracks. In their second preseason game, let's start here. 94 feet more than the alleged 30% that we saw in game one. Still don't think it was 30%, but we'll go with it, Doug. And we also are just hoping to see more of that. Do they win the second fight of the year? As Doug mentioned, we're gonna win every fight every night. There's a fight and there is an actual game and the score. We might not win the game, but we will always win the fight. They did not win either a couple nights ago as they lost that game. And will they smell the Blazers breakfast? Will they smell the Blazers breakfast on their breath? Okay?
They know what you ate for breakfast.
Will they be close enough that they will, defensively, that they will know what you had for breakfast? Okay?
They know what you ate for breakfast.
Devin Carter, Maxime Reynaud, Dylan Cardwell, what will we see from them? Will Devin Carter again not get back in, or all three of them not get in till the second half? I was more surprised, like we said, Kyle, that Devin Carter wasn't a part of that 10-man rotation. Will he be able to crack that? Is there any way for him to crack that in the preseason? Maybe it's just not possible. And I love how, I don't know what happened, but I love how these last couple days here I've turned into not a Devin Carter apologist, but I just want to see him. I just want to see what he could do. And maybe it's just not going to happen on this team, but I don't know. There's just something about the way he plays that I do think there's a place for him in this league. I'm just not sure that it's the right. Life is about timing, right? And I just don't know if the timing is right with Devin Carter on this squad. I just talked about my coach leaving when I arrived. The GM that drafted him, he's gone now, so that's a tough spot to be in. Luckily, he's got his pops who's dealt with a ton of different stuff in the NBA. But, I can be really hard on some of these players the same way a lot of you are on the text line, and we get all that. They make a ton of money. But at the same time, I do want to see them succeed, even if it's not with the Kings. And if Devin Carter is – I like when we can officially say, the same way I've defended Domantas Sabonis in saying, hey, it was one playoff series. I know the play-ins. One he was good in, one he was not. But this idea of him being a playoff dropper when it's not like he's been in the playoffs all these years, and someone would say, well, Allen, that's kind of part of it. Sure, but I don't know if those rosters were put in the best situations to be in the playoffs time and time again. So the same way those narratives have kind of started, and I think they're a little overstated just based on how much we haven't seen Domantas Sabonis in the playoffs. The idea that Devin Carter can't play, I don't necessarily want to go there. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Devin Carter once the season starts, because I just don't think he's going to play that much unless it looks like they need something that he can provide. So that's why I'm kind of talking about him now, because I just don't think once the season starts, we're going to be talking about him too much.
Well, here's where I hesitate to say any player, isn't going to play at some point, because we're one injury away from Devin Carter being in the rotation.
No, I know, but they're healthy right now.
They're healthy now, but I understand why you make the point in the preseason, because the preseason, this is our first chance to learn what the rotations are. We could guess it was going to be this or that or the other, but now we know it. They want to run Monk, Ellis, Neat Clifford, Isaac Jones, Drew Eubanks as their 10-man rotation. Doug even said that he wanted to run the 10-man rotation this year, so we kind of know what that vision is for the start, and maybe they'll mix and match based on opponents, which we talked about earlier in the week. When you got a bad defense, you adjust to what other teams are doing on defense, because you don't have a dude that you can just put in and say, doesn't matter if we're playing Anthony Edwards or Shaedon Sharpe or Zion Williamson, we've got a dude who we can put in. The Kings don't have that, so you kind of have to adjust who's on the floor based on your defensive substitutions. And I think that's where Devin is going to find minutes early on, is based on matchups.
Yeah, and just because obviously we know what we want to see from the guys in the rotation, right? They kind of are who they are. I would say the only person that I'm looking to see something different, well, number one, I would say Dennis Schroeder, because I just want to see him within this team, but that's kind of the team as a whole. I want to see if Keegan Murray keeps up with this aggressiveness, and if he is kind of staking his claim as to being maybe the third option or the 3A option on this team. And besides that, the starters and everything they got going on, I want to see another stint of Maxime Reynaud. I think he played okay, but he was mostly playing against Summer League competition, and that might happen again. But I think as the old adage goes, when you see the Colby Joneses of the world and Mason Jones. Hold on. Where's Mason Jones?
Oh, yeah, you were gone when that happened.
Hold on. Where's Mason Jones?
Mason Jones went to Australia. That happened while you were gone. He signed with the Perth Wildcats.
I think I might have heard that.
Yeah.
Hey. Thanks for the memories, Mason.
Yeah, home team of also Elijah Pepper, who played at UC Davis, and there was some other NBA player who was on that team who... Basically, the Lakers of Australia. I think Perth won like 5 championships in the 2010s, but they haven't won since 2020.
Watch out. They got some big old spiders out there. I know that. I've seen them. Those things can run. They're hairy. Okay, so be careful out there, Mason Jones.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
We were talking about that while you were gone. I think Jose was on that day, and basically it was like... The only reason he would have stayed in the G League was just to run it back, because there was no path for him getting an NBA contract. So, because his two-way eligibility was over. So, he just decided to go over to Australia, where he is playing with. I'm gonna have to look up who it was again, but there were a few NBA players on that team, names that I recognized.
So. Maxime Reynaud and how he looked in Summer League. And honestly, I know he was banged up for one of the games. He's somebody that I need to see more, because from what I'm seeing right now, again, most of it is against Summer League competition. From what I'm seeing right now, and like I said, as the old adage goes, you should look like you don't belong. Maxime Reynaud looks good, but you had guys like Colby Jones and Mason Jones putting up 30, 40 points in the G League time and time again. I need to see... and maybe that's just not something we're going to be able to see from Maxime Reynaud during the preseason, but it should look like he doesn't belong in the G League. And right now, I don't think it particularly looks like he doesn't belong in the G League. It does not look like Nick Clifford belongs in the G League. He looks like he belongs in the NBA.
He belongs in an NBA rotation right now, even if it's in the Jake LaRavia role, which was kind of what I had said since they drafted him. It seems like they're just going to plug and play Nick Clifford into whatever Jake LaRavia was supposed to be after they traded for him last year.
Right. So that's what I want to see, just at a high level. I'm going to be enjoying myself watching the game, knowing that I don't have to work the next day. We can let it all marinate over the weekend.
Marinate like those ribs.
I got to stop, man. I've eaten too many already. But shout out to Jeezels and to Scott Navarro, of course, who organized that. They're still in here. Well, they're not in here specifically, but they're still in the building. Scott gave me a to-go plate.
Yeah, Scott brought him back into the studio for you. And
there you go.
I'm sure those are going to be nice. Also, I've been Googling other king-size mattresses, because apparently the text line has informed me that there's something called a Texas King.
And also there's an Alaskan King, apparently.
Oh, yeah, I just Googled the Alaskan King. It's literally the bed from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where all the grandparents are sleeping in one bed.
Are this for NBA? What type of beds do NBA players have?
I mean, if I had the kind of money that those NBA players had, get me an Alaskan King.
Yeah, why not?
This thing, 108 by 108, so you can fit 8 people in this bed.
Yeah.
That's the bed I'm looking for if I'm an NBA player.
You're on one side of the bed. I'm on one side of the bed. Wife's on the other. I got to text her to tell her something. Is that how big?
Well, yeah, I mean, 108 inches, Alan. Think about it.
Can you give me the remote, please? I can't.
Yeah, throw it like a football
slingshot? Yeah,
pass.
can you chuck the remote over to me?
But here's why I'm in on larger bed, because I always sleep cool. Like I can't sleep if I'm hot kind of situation. So, you roll over to the cool side of the bed and all of a sudden
There's plenty.
There's so much cool side of the bed. So much room for your cool pillows. I'm all in on this.
And this all originated from the fact that you will be in a very nice bed. I cannot confirm the size, but a very nice bed from the Kimpton Sawyer, that giveaway. You're texting Ellis today, ELLIS, as in the lockdown guard.
I really just be chilling for real.
For your Sacramento Kings, 916-339-1140. If you want a chance to stay the night over there, $200 in gift card to Revival, downtown Sacramento social hotspot, and, of course, a pair of lower-level seats to Kings Thunder. So that is how we found our way talking about bed sizes. There you go. Now we have the All NBA podcast. This is Tim Legler, okay, and Adam Mayers. And what they did, they created a Western Conference ceilings list, right? What's the best these teams can do? All right, and I'm going to go through some of the other questionable teams. I'll go through all of them. Why not? And I'll save the Kings for last. When it comes to, and this is just in the order that they have them written down, but I'm going to skip over the Kings for now. When it comes to the Golden State Warriors, both of them have the Western Conference Finals. So basically, both of them have the Warriors losing to the Thunder. That's how I read that. Lakers, Mayers has Western Conference Finals. Tim Legler has win the NBA Finals. The Clippers, both of them have second round exit. The Suns, both of them has lose in the play-in. The Nuggets, both of them have win the NBA Finals. The Timberwolves, Mayers says win the NBA Finals. Tim Legler says second round exit. See, I'm with you, Tim. See, me and Tim, we were on the same page here. Oklahoma City, both of them have NBA Finals. The Portland Trailblazers both have lose in the play-in. The Jazz outside the play-in. The Mavericks second round exit for both of them. The Rockets, they both have win the NBA Finals. The Grizzlies make playoffs via play-in. That is Adam Mayers. And Tim Legler says lose in the play-in. The Pelicans, Mayers says lose in the play-in. And Legler says outside the play-in. The Spurs both have first-round exit. So both of them think, I guess the ceiling would be the Spurs making the playoffs. Now, what do they have for the Kings? I won't make you wait any longer. Adam Mayers and Tim Legler say the ceiling. This is the type of disrespect, man. The ceiling for the Sacramento Kings.
The roof?
The roof is the ceiling, is to lose in the play-in. That neither of them even have them sneaking in like the Grizzlies. Make playoffs via play-in. Both of them say the Kings ceiling is to, once again, for the third year in a row, to lose in the play-in.
Yeah, can't even get to OKC this time.
No, can't do it.
It's not like 2024, it was like, oh, it's going to be disappointing, but at least we get to play the Thunder in the play-in.
Yeah.
This year, it's just, nope, not even a chance. Can't even get to Oklahoma City and do what the Grizzlies did last year, which was lose by 50 points and Marvin Bagley hitting half-court shots.
Yeah, so, I mean, I want to disagree with them, and I do disagree with them because I think they could. I think just like the Grizzlies, and you know I'm not big on the Grizzlies, I would have make playoffs via play-in. Ceiling.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't see any scenario right now where they're a top 6 seed because I can name 5 teams I'm confident that, like, even if they had significant injury, they would still be better than the Kings. And if I'm just doing it quickly, it's OKC, Denver, the Lakers, the Rockets, and the Timberwolves. Like, I feel confident no matter. LeBron could have, what is sciatica? Mm-hmm. What did he have?
Yeah.
Did I say, was that it?
Yeah, that's what he's got.
Okay, LeBron could have sciatica for 3 months, and I still think the Lakers would finish with a better record than the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
But I don't see a world where everything breaks right for them and they're able to get to that 6th seed without having to get in through the play-in.
No, but and that's my point. A ceiling, it's kind of crazy that for a ceiling, they don't see any type of world where the Kings could sneak in. right? Losing in the play-in is the ceiling. That's crazy to me. Let's see who else they have in that realm, though. It's the same kind of teams, right? They both have the Suns in that realm, losing in the play-in. They both have the Blazers in that realm, losing in the play-in. And the Grizzlies, they're split on. Legler says that the Grizzlies would lose in the play-in, and Mayer says they could make the playoff. And the Pelicans, Mayers has the Pelicans losing in the play-in, and Legler has them outside the play-in. So it's just the Suns. They agreed on the Suns, the Kings, and the Blazers. Those are the three teams. And now, and that's what they're doing. The Spurs are the new team to kind of take the mantle. And again, all of these teams have some version of question marks. You know what was interesting? I think they did the best example of this, in my opinion, with the Mavericks. Because off the top of my head, I don't see the Mavericks necessarily getting to the second round. But if everything broke right, Kyrie comes back, Cooper Flagg is a dog, Anthony Davis stays as healthy as an Anthony Davis can.
Let's say he plays 60 games.
Right. To me, they got that one the most right. And besides the obvious ones like the Rockets and the Thunder, to me, they got that one the most right. I think the Warriors, Western Conference, I think that's kind of a cop-out. Winning the NBA Finals, I mean, okay. I think they copped out with the Clippers' second-round exit, right? I think they had the most nuanced answer with the Mavericks. That's how I feel about it.
Which is interesting because I feel like the Mavericks have such a wide variance for how this season could go, right? Mm-hmm. You could tell me the Mavericks are the 11 seed or they're the 4 seed.
Yeah.
And I feel like both are possible. And that most of that is the injuries to their key players, i.e. Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, but also just the unknown of Cooper Flagg, right? Yeah. If Cooper Flagg is Rookie of the Year, has a Luka-type rookie season, then all of a sudden you have 3 20-point-per-game scorers and an elite defense. And I'm like, well, there's no ceiling on that team. Yeah. That team could win the Western Conference in this new age where, the Pacers are winning the West. But I could also see all those injuries not breaking their way, and they're a rebuilding team come February, and they're just giving Cooper all the run that he needs, right? I guess that's why second-round exit seems nuanced in that way, just because there's so much variance on what could happen.
When we return, it's not time for prop talk, but we're going to play a little more or less with the Sacramento Kings and their points per game and how many points will they score in general. We say higher or lower for all of your main Kings players. And you can be a part of it too at 916-339-1140. Call line, text line, and Sac Chat. We'll be right back. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here talking to you about my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Now, they're upgrading their offerings to you to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience into the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. And you've heard me talk about them for years as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get a second opinion on any HVAC service or replacement, but now you can also get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. And when you really think about it, how do we know how much it's supposed to cost? At the very least, you'll know you're in the ballpark, and I can all but guarantee you they'll beat the price. They'll come out for free. They'll give you a second opinion. And all you got to do is give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Hey man, gaining weight, low energy, lost drive? It could be your testosterone. Revive Men's Health Sacramento helps men get their edge back. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations.
When men start treatment, it's not just their labs that change. You see it in their posture, their energy, and how they walk into the room. That's why I do what I do.
Call 916-619-3000 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 916-619-3000 or schedule anytime at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The deals are on now at the model year-end sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save on year-end models and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
Kyle is going to lead us through this next exercise, and it's a very simple one. Over or under, more or less, and the lines are what the Kings did in the season prior. So we are going to give our predictions on whether these Sacramento Kings players will score more or less points than they did in the year prior. All right, Kyle, let me know where we're going from here, and I will give my answers.
All right, so just as a reference for the people wondering at home, the Kings scored 9,490 points last season. So maybe they'll score more, maybe they'll score less this year, but we're going to see whether or not certain players on the team do you think will have more or less points than last season, which is, again, you could take into account health, you could take into account role, you could take into account all sorts of things when you make this guess. So let's start off with the leading scorer on last year's Sacramento Kings team, 1,710 points. What, a 22.2 per game. What will DeMar DeRozan score this year? More or less than 1,700 points?
This is an easy one to me, and I more so care about the points per game versus the total, but this is an easy one to me. It's less.
Less than 22.2.
It better be. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So you believe he will be less than... He was also the leading shot taker on the team last year, too, which I think that you would say is probably not going to be the case this year.
It's less for DeMar DeRozan.
All right, so let's try Domantas Sabonis. We got 1,337 points. He played in 70 games, which was his Kings career low, which I guess is only 3 seasons.
We have
the 19.1, which was not a career high, but like his most since his last garbage time year with the Pacers.
Yeah, this is a really tough one. But I'm keeping in mind when guys have these crazy numbers, but they didn't lead to wins. It just wasn't a great offense last season. And if I think that the offense is going to be better, I know people have been saying, hey, what if Domantas Sabonis takes a leap, if you will? So that's why this one might be the toughest out of all of them. Man, this is a tough one.
Just as a reference, 19.4 is his Kings career high. He had a 20-point-something on the Pacers back when the Pacers were trash.
Yeah, I guess my larger point is I don't know if the Kings should need 19 from him a night. I'm going to say less and not feel very good about it at all.
All right, so we've got less on Sabonis, less on DeRozan.
I might change that, but right now it's
all right,
less.
Next up we have the leading points per game scorer. Well, I guess still on the Kings, because technically De'Aaron Fox was leader in points per game last year for the Kings. But Zach LaVine, 22.4 points per game on the Kings last year, more or less.
They had a new song for Zach LaVine. You could hear it through the broadcast. I can't remember what it was, though. I'm going to say more. Zach LaVine, I think he was at 24 in Chicago. I'm going to say more than 22.4 for Zach LaVine.
Yeah, I think we can look up what his splits were last year.
I don't feel good about any of these, by the way. But
so in Chicago, 24 per game. Career high 27.4 during his first year in Chicago, the year that they didn't make the playoffs that year. Right. The next year they made the playoffs. But you're going to go more for Zach LaVine, which is fair. 22.4 was probably him as a number 2 option, and I would imagine he's going to be the number 1 volume scorer on this year's team. All right, next up, let's try 17.2 for Malik Monk.
This is the probably the easiest one. This is less.
Yeah, that is definitely going to be a less, just because he's going to play less minutes.
Yeah.
Just for reference, he had 1,117 points last year, which was 3rd on the team, and he started 45 games. I would imagine he's not going to start very many games.
Exactly. So that's probably the easiest one.
All right, coming in 12.4 last year, scored 942 points. Mr. Keegan.
What's up, Sacramento?
Murray.
Another easy one. More. Contract season. I mean, we don't know if it's going to be a contract season yet, but I'm still saying more.
Is he going to get the runway? That is the interesting question.
Yeah. I'm going to say more, though.
I mean, I guess even if he doesn't get the runway, if he hits the corner threes again, then he scored more than that his rookie year, but they also had the most efficient offense in NBA history.
Mm-hmm.
All right, 8.3 points per game. Keon Ellis.
I really just be chilling for real.
More or less than 8.3, which I'm going to double check. I think is probably a career high for him.
Yeah, it has to be. And it's going to stay that way. I'm going under.
Going under?
I think I'm going under.
Yeah. Under for Mr. Keon. Yeah, career high. Previous season, he was 5.4. I kind of forgot he started 21 games during that 2024
I'm going under just based on the log jam. That's it.
All right. So we got a lot of lesses so far. How about Mr. Devin Carter? He scored 138 total points last year. That's 3.8 per game. What do we think of Devin Carter's chance? This one's kind of unfair.
This one is, I want to say more. But you got to get on the court. If he plays 10 minutes a game, it's more.
Okay, so I guess we'll say more for now. Then we've got Isaac Jones, 3.4. He scored 100 damn, that's crazy. Isaac Jones and Devin Carter scored basically the same amount of points on last year's Kings team. That's crazy, given one was the 13th pick in the draft and the other was undrafted, which I get. Devin Carter was hurt, but Isaac Jones was on a 2-way contract.
More. That's an easy one.
More for Mr. Isaac Jones. All right, so we don't know how many each person will score, but we have about, doing quick math, 900 points departing the team from last year. Trey Lyles had 450, Valanciunas had 280, LaRavia had 115, Jay Crowder had about 23 last year, which is crazy. He only had 23 points.
Was that all in that one Minnesota game?
No, I think he only had like 4 points in that game, which is the dumbest thing about them winning. He didn't even do anything. They still won. So new additions, you've got Dennis Schroeder, Nick Clifford, Maxime Reynaud. It's kind of hard to predict how they're actually going to do just because, like, the rookies, we don't have any reference point.
Mm-hmm.
But for Dennis Schroeder, his average is 14 per game for his career. Yeah. Do you want to go more or less on his career average?
More.
So you have Dennis Schroeder being the 4th or 5th leading scorer on this team?
I think it's going to be a lot of grenade ball.
Got it.
I think it's going to be a lot of, what do we do from here? Nobody is around me at the 3-point line. Shoots it at 32, which isn't great, but it's enough, especially if the volume raises. So I think it'll be a lot of grenade ball. He doesn't know where else the ball should go. Not that he doesn't as a point guard, but running out of time, let me just do it myself. So I think that leads him to score a tiny bit more.
Who do you think ends up with more? Keegan Murray or Dennis Schroeder? Keegan will end up with more points per game.
I'll know more after tonight, but Keegan.
You're going to go with Keegan for now.
Yes.
All right. Well, I guess that's all we have for the over-under game. Again, it's hard to predict the new people. Drew Eubanks.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Clifford. I think Nick will be sitting at about 7 a game. That's what I see for Nick. About 7 a game. A couple really good games in there. Who else did they add on? Yeah, I mean, some of the Maxime Reynaud, there's no point. I don't know how much time they're going to get with the Kings anyway. The Maxime Reynauds, the Dylan Cardwells, guys like that. Dario. So was he at 0 with the Nuggets? What was he at?
Let's pull up last year's Nuggets team. Let's see what we're working with for Dario Saric. Dario Saric last year had a total of let's see, where does it say points? He had 56 points last year for the Nuggets, which is more than Jay Crowder. And I guess in fairness, he played 16 games, but wow, this is sad. He had a higher point per game average in the games that he did play than Isaac Jones.
Well, look, season 2, Isaac Jones is a little bit different, okay? And he didn't even play. Dario Saric, is he going to play tonight?
No.
He was a coach's decision. They just didn't play him.
No, I've been saying, and again, I don't have a ton of inside information, but there's a chance Dario Saric doesn't make it to opening night on this team.
Because I feel like there's always one that does media day. Last year was
Jalen. Or whichever McDaniels, the bad McDaniels.
The one with the L.
Yeah. Jalen McDaniels.
And I'm pretty sure we interviewed him too. I'm like, we go find those in the archive somewhere. 916-339-1140. How you feeling about your Sacramento Kings? Are you going to watch? How much do you even care about the preseason? Let's discuss. On the other side, we are breaking down who is more valuable to their team, Keegan Murray or Kyle's favorite player, Christian Brown. When you hear the money he's about to command on the market, might make you rethink Keegan Murray's worth. Also, NBA GM survey dropped. Where do former Kings and present Kings fall on that list? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
The excitement of
The game is here, and so are the model year-end savings at Stockton Honda, the best Honda dealer in Northern California. Score big with low payments, more for your trade, and a huge selection. Don't wait. The clock is ticking at StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on the results of the study, recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, though, may I ask if there are any unlocked guns in your home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Sactown Sports has your ticket to the biggest live events going on in our region. First up, get in the game Halloween weekend at the Sinners and Saints Halloween Party and Costume Contest at the venue at Thunder Valley, October 25th. Then, Country Fans, the spotlight on the brand new Channel 24 venue in Sacramento as Cameron Marlowe takes the stage October 28th. Comedy lovers, don't miss the one and only Trevor Noah, November 9th at the venue at Thunder Valley. The action keeps rolling with Jesse McCartney at Channel 24 Sacramento on November 14th. The same night, legends, the Isley Brothers bring the soul to Hard Rock Live. Rock icons Heart storm Hard Rock Live on November 21st, followed by the Stray Cats November 23rd. Laugh it up with Mike Epps on December 5th at Hard Rock Live Sacramento. Sactown Sports is your home court for live events. Head to SactownSports.com. That's SactownSports.com for more info.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
Stockton 99 Speedway, Saturday, October 18th. It's championship night. Late models, modified, sprint cars, and the insane trailer racing. Plus a huge fireworks show to light up the sky. Tickets start at just $20. Don't miss the season finale. Stockton99.com.
Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
On Sactown Sports.
So I'm going to use a term that the kids use. I learned this from my Sacramento River Cats job. They're all, most of the cat crew that I work with, either young in their college career. Senor Segway strikes again. That's right. Yeah. I was like, that's right. Sure.
But the buttons are next to each other. Sorry.
And I did something last night, and it's been hilarious. Okay, so what happened last night? Obviously, I'm salty. Okay, and this is actually before the Dodgers won the game. The game was going on. It was about 6 o'clock. I don't know, 5th, 6th inning, whatever it was. and the Dodgers had just finished an inning, and they're panning after the inning ends, and in the top right, if you're looking at the field from home plate and looking out, the top of right field, that side, is completely empty. Completely empty. So it caught me off guard, right? Obviously, it's not an elimination game for the Dodgers, but that could have been their last home game of the season. Now, I get it. The Dodgers, World Series champs, maybe they don't show up for the NLDS. But the problem is, Dodger fans are kind of known for not showing up for anything. I know they got the attendance numbers, but that's just kind of been the joke amongst MLB fans, right? So I took a video and I pointed out that the seats were empty, and I said, this is why you get clowned, Dodger fans. Well, and this is what the kids say, I guess I rage baited Dodger fans into 1 million views on Twitter. This is, I believe, my first video that has come across 1 million views on Twitter, on X. And I hadn't checked because when things, I'm not saying I pop that often, but I just mute it because I don't want to get caught up talking to people. There are 1,000 comments from just salty Dodger fans, and I'm checking back in on everything. It's got 1 million views. Ice Cube's son, O'Shea Jackson, the actor, he quote tweeted it. All these Dodger fans are pissed off. They are not happy, and this is incredible.
Oh, I love this so much.
This is incredible.
They're
so mad.
The day that they won in the most amazing way ever, you are personally responsible for thousands of Dodger fans continuing to yell into their phones.
Yeah, they're finding other posts of mine, and they're saying, you stink, and they're roasting that I cover the Kings. They are very upset with me. And, hey, as long as they continue to share it, it's fine by me. And it just, every time I check, I hadn't checked in a while. I don't even know who else reposted it. It could have been a really, an even bigger person. I got to continue to check, but I had to do it. I was extremely salty. The Dodgers are playing, and hey, well, when's your team playing? Somebody posted a picture of Oracle Park. Well, this looks pretty empty too because the Giants are done now. The big argument that they had in the part where the rage bait comes into play is that the game was at 3 p.m., right? So LA, and then they're saying, well, that's because we have jobs out here. Look here, buddy. I've been to LA. All you are driving Ubers and your stand-up comics on the side. You're all waiting for your big break. So
that's crazy.
I've been to LA. You get into an Uber and they're cracking jokes. You're wondering why they're continuing to crack jokes. And then it comes out, oh, you're here for your Hulu you're trying to get a Hulu special and you're driving Uber on the side, which is fine, but don't come at me with the we can't make it because we got jobs. Those types of jobs are very flexible, as I've heard in the past. And I'm not hating. I'm just saying, don't come at me with the we work so we can't make a 3 p.m. game. If that game was in Philly at 3 p.m., every seat would have been full.
Yeah, I was about to say, the Mariners played a day game on a Monday, and that place was packed out.
Right.
So I don't feel like the excuse is going to work for the Dodgers. Because again, like that state, I get like that
it's
state.
It's bigger than everyone. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, but who cares? You're number one in attendance every year, and like we know this is a thing with LA. Is like the stadium is empty until the third or fourth inning,
and they can't take it, man, to the tune of 1 million views.
Also, can we just say that stadium just horrific to try and get in and out of? I went to a playoff game where the Padres beat the Dodgers back in 2022.
Okay.
It took us 45 minutes to get out of there. I had to drive back to Sacramento like that night, and it was like midnight by the time I even got out of the stadium.
Yeah.
Like just brutal trying to get out of Dodger Stadium.
Ridiculous. So they're all saying, they're finding stuff. Some of them think I'm a Phillies fan, and they're saying, well, that's because Philadelphia. Yeah, everybody be at the game because Philadelphia sucks. Okay. They don't know what to say. They don't know what to say, and they're so upset.
It's the thing that
bothers
bothers
them. We have jobs. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
Sure. But take a day off to go to the game.
Right.
I mean, this could have been the last game of the year.
That's what I'm saying. Well, it wouldn't have been. That's what I'm saying. The last game in LA of the year. It could have been.
Yeah, it could have been. and they still didn't show up. And by the way, it wasn't like, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That was like the 6th inning when you posted that video.
Yes.
Like those seats were never getting sold.
So they wanted I'm sorry, I forgot. We have jobs. I forgot how blue collar Los Angeles is. I'm sorry, Dodger fans. I forgot how blue collar Los Angeles is. Give me a break, man. Give me a break.
Congratulations, Allen. I remember my first million views.
Okay, here you go. Hey, all I know.
By the time you get to 10, you stop thinking about it.
Oh, yeah. No, I hear you on that one. So, Kyle, we wanted to discuss your boy, Christian Brown, and the expectation of his upcoming contract, right? Christian Brown is expected to command $25 to $30 million per year on his next contract. This is from Jake Fisher. Rookie scale extension discussions around the league continue to feature various players pursuing deals with an annual average value of $30 million in advance of the October 20th deadline for first-round picks from the 2022 NBA draft to sign extensions. Among them is Denver Nuggets guard Christian Brown, with the low end of Brown's range on a new deal believed to be in the $25 million ballpark, according to league sources. So, remind me, was Jabari Smith Jr., what did it end up being, 22 a year?
It was 22 and change, but it was also a 5-year deal.
In this current climate that we are in, it is insane to me that Christian Brown could get 30 a year. I'm sorry. And he's a good player, but this seems like the exact type of player you do not have to give $30 million to.
You're saying he's not Jalen Johnson?
This is the exact type of player where we're supposed to get great value on a guy like you. You're not supposed to cost us $30 million.
I will say he really helped their defense last year. Like, irrefutably, when they were in that strugglesome time back, I think it was like February, and you were yelling at me like, "Oh, your Nuggets, Kyle, what's happening?" They benched Westbrook for Christian Brown and got immediately better on defense. So, like, I will say Christian Brown is a starting wing in the NBA who can defend.
What's the average for a starting wing?
Yeah, that's where it's like, but this is the Keegan conversation of projecting growth. Is Christian Brown going to be a number 3? Is he going to fill the Michael Porter Jr. role?
I don't. I mean, his offense did take a step forward for sure, but I don't personally see that.
And even if you do project that, what does that mean for their team's chances? Are they going to be a worse team because Christian Brown is your number 4?
Maybe they just feel like, hey, we might overpay him, but he does things that are very important nowadays. And we were overpaying Michael Porter Jr. so badly. This overpay doesn't seem as bad.
Yes.
And it's just, hey, just like life, right place, right time. And the Dodger fans weren't in the right place at the right time because they weren't at the game. As we hit the 1 o'clock hour, let's compare Christian Brown to Keegan Murray, and we transition on over to the NFL. San Francisco 49ers take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I saw the wildest headline I've ever seen as it pertains to who will be the quarterback for the Niners. I'll tell you what it is when we get back. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Sactown Sports 49ers report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. The 49ers win an absolute thriller in overtime over LA, 26-23, to improve the 4-1. San Francisco getting a critical stop on 4th and 1 at the end of the game with LA driving inside the red zone. Mac Jones is now 3-0 as the 49ers starting quarterback. The Niners are back in action in Tampa Bay. Catch the game Sunday, beginning at 9 o'clock right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
You're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com and get ready for the workday.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
I found out that one of my players was vaping. And I said, hey, right now's the time to be honest with me. And he said almost everybody in my team was vaping. The next day, all the parents came in. I said, how many of you guys think that your kids are vaping? Not one of them raised their hand. There's a joint fight to make something better. We don't sit back and let it happen.
Coach Sanchez is exposing Big Tobacco's playbook. Learn how he and other Californians are beating Big Tobacco at undo.org.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. I mean, mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Sacramento. Buckle up. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is dropping one day of insane Milwaukee deals on Saturday, October 18th. Bare tools, batteries, and kits at insanely low prices. All Milwaukee hand tools, tool accessories, and Milwaukee pack-out boxes will be 20% off. Spend $100 and you'll get a lotto ticket for up to $1,000 off your next order. Again, that's one day only. October 18th at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
What's happening? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Woodland. What's happening for the Drive Into Fall event?
It's not just leaves falling at Hoblet. Prices are falling like never before. And right now, save up to $13,000 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 2500 heavy duty of your dreams.
Really? Of my dreams?
Yeah, you won't find a better selection of Ram heavy duties at prices like these anywhere in California. We have hundreds of new Rams available and more arriving every day. There's a reason we are consistently one of the top Ram dealers, not just in California, but in all of the United States.
Come see the Hoblet difference and get that big city selection and savings with the small town feel. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$13,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 2500 Laramie after $4,500 factor rebates and $8,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $2,000 select inventory bonus cash, $500 on the job upfit, must show eligible upfit. 5% savings. See dealer for details.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
For Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
One more hour with ya, and it's going to be a fun one here on the Allen Stiles Show. Kyle Lederberger behind the glass.
Kyle what?
Lerdberger.
I gotta cut that. We gotta get rid of that.
You don't know, man. Kyle Ledbetter behind the glass for us.
Apparently.
For the next hour. It's Whitey Gleason. It's the high flyer.
It's been a long week.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it has. It's Whitey Gleason. It's the high flyer. It's the drive guys. It's Jay Johnson. They're coming up at 2 p.m.
Shorter show, too, because Kings game.
Did you cut it already?
I need a little more time.
We got some Niners talk on deck, as I was really excited for this Bucs game, but the more I hear about it, the less excited I'm becoming. But, it is always fun because Baker's a guy, and they're starting to talk about him as far as the MVP conversation. He can find anybody. He can work with anybody. And obviously we know that Mac Jones can do that too. It doesn't matter who's out for the Niners as long as Kendrick Bourne is playing. That's all Mac Jones needs. So we have some Niners updates for you. Kyle Lederberger behind the glass. Kyle Lederberger. I think it's something with the mic.
It sounds like a record scratching.
Kyle Lederberger. I think there's something with the mic. I don't know. That wasn't me. There's something Lederberger. There's some Lederberger. Lederberger. 916-339-1140.
It sounds like you're doing a with your mouth.
Getting ready for the second Kings preseason game, and of course you can check that out on Kings.com, and also you can listen to it here on your home of the Beam team. Lederberger, Sactown Sports 1140. And yeah, I guess that's the question, Kyle. When you do a back-to-back, and you had said, what was the breakdown for Jabari Smith a year? If we're saying Christian Brown might get 30, what was the breakdown for Jabari Smith's contract?
So Jabari Smith was 22.4 per year, but it's a 5-year deal. So it's 5 years, 122. Which, like, for example, Christian Brown, if he got $30 million a year for 4 years, would be higher annual value, but less guaranteed money. It would only be like 120.
Right, but he's getting paid more. Yeah, that's an interesting one, and I wonder what options Keegan is being given. I'm just doing a comparison here because I'm trying to take off the purple lenses, and obviously, you know, we're listening to the Jeff Teague pod, and they're discussing how Keegan was. We're to that point now, and I try to tell y'all, this is how quick it happens in sports. He's 25 years old, and already the conversation is he was supposed to be a star. Right? It's already done. If you don't take that leap your first 2 years, it's already done. So Keegan, his career, 13.3 points per game, 5.6 rebounds per game, 1.4 assists, 45% from the field, 37% from three, 76 games this past season, 12.4 points per game, 6.7 rebounds per game, 1.4 assists per game, 44% from the field, 34% from three, 83% from the free throw line. Now, let's get to Christian Brown. Again, this is the leap that we're talking about, people. It's very clear when it happens. The problem is Keegan came in so hot his rookie year, it was hard to elevate again unless he was going to become a legitimate star. Because Christian Brown's career, 237 games, 9.2 points per game, 3.8 rebounds per game, 1.7 assists per game, 52% from the field, 38% from three, 75% from the free throw line. He goes 6'6", 218, and Keegan, we know, goes about 6'7", 6'8". So I don't think Christian Brown, he's not really guarding too many fours, but kind of like that Caruso, he's got that dog in him, so I'm sure they can throw him on some smaller fours. 79 games last season. This is the big leap. He went from 9.2 points per game to 15.4 points per game, 5.2 rebounds per game, 2.6 assists a game, 58% from the field. What is this guy in the dunker spot? Like, is he GP2? What is this? 39% from three, 39.7, 82% from the free throw line. Okay, how many threes is he taking a game? Okay, yeah, see, here you go. Yeah, he's taking 2.8 threes a game.
That's slightly more than Sabonis.
Yeah, he's taking 2.8 threes. Because I was about to say, who is this guy? This is interesting, though, Kyle. And if you're looking at the difference, let's just keep it all to 4 years because it's easier that way. But if you're looking at the idea of him making 30 a year, but he's getting less guaranteed, and Jabari Smith getting, you said 22 a year?
122. Or it comes out to about 20. It comes out to 22.4 per year.
Yeah. I look at those two contracts.
Sorry, 24.2. I had that backwards.
And Keegan, it's all about when you do stuff, right? Because Keegan almost has been plagued with the fact that he came in so hot. Christian Brown had this leap, but it was harder for Keegan to leap because he came in already cooking. And I understand different situations because Christian Brown went 21st overall versus Keegan, who went 4th overall. But I think they're all in the same realm. I think if Keegan wanted to take a 4-year deal, I don't think Christian Brown should be making that. I don't think he should be making more than Keegan. That's my short version of this. I don't think he should be making more than Keegan.
Which then makes me think about the other part of the Jake Fisher story, which is if multiple agents are asking for deals in the $30 million range, is Keegan one of those people who's asking for a deal around $30 million per year? Because we talked about this before. Keegan's value is somewhere between 20 and 25 a year. But if you're Keegan's agent, you're negotiating from a point of, in 3 years, when you give him the runway, this is what he will be worth.
Yeah.
And that's where you negotiate up. It's kind of what Kuminga was negotiating from, is like, yeah, he's this now, but in a year or two, this is what Kuminga will look like. So maybe they're negotiating from the point of, hey, once DeRozan's gone, this is Keegan's going to be your number 3, and number 3s are worth 30 to 35 million in this league.
Yeah, that's a good point, and I don't think there's, it's so funny again going back to the expectations. Things could change in Denver, but Keegan clearly, I think, has the biggest opportunity in front of him. Jabari Smith is not. He's not going to be a footnote, but he's not going to be a top 3 option for at least the next 2 years with Kevin Durant. Christian Brown, it's weird, but you got Jamal, so he could be third. To be fair, he could be third behind Jokic and Jamal. That's fair.
Well, I mean Gordon.
That's the question, right? Gordon. One day, both of these guys just decided one day they were going to be studs on offense, and because it used to be Gordon was the one that you could. That's who you not leave alone, but hey, if this guy kills us, and then he started killing him. And I'll tell you what, Schmal and Miles, Christian Brown cooked Schmal and Miles a couple times en route to his career season.
Oh yeah, because you don't believe in the Nuggets. And I keep trying to tell you, you got to believe in those Nuggies.
Look, he's got some nice dunks, and now all of a sudden he's worth $30 million. Give me a break.
I mean, he's a solid number 4. I mean, they were comfortable moving on from Michael Porter Jr.
Yeah, that's very
for
true.
Cam Johnson, who's not as good as Michael Porter Jr., but
less expensive too.
Well, that's the bigger thing, was the flexibility, which is why they had to attach a 2032 first to move Porter Jr. was just for the financial flexibility, which they're probably going to use to give Christian Brown $30 million.
Right. So do I think Christian Brown, I don't think he has a higher ceiling than Keegan. I don't think he should get paid more than Keegan. I do think he's been put in a better situation than Keegan, but part of that also is going 21st. We joked about Russell Wilson earlier in today's show because Jackson Dart was balling out and Brian Daboll was willing to get fined in order to keep Russell Wilson from actually throwing a football. But Russell Wilson getting drafted later, the way he got drafted later, he got put in a better situation than some of these top draft picks. Same thing with Dak Prescott. So even though he went in the first round, Christian Brown, because he got drafted to the Nuggets in a good situation, I think his expectations were different. Nobody was expecting him to save the franchise. I'll never forget, wasn't that Paolo, a legendary Summer League game when Keegan went head-to-head with Paolo?
Yeah,
and Chris
that's right.
Watkins was telling me, I think he was at that Summer League, or at least just that game in general. Kings fans all around the world were saying, we got him.
Yeah.
We got our guy.
Keegan was not Summer League MVP, I want to say, but he might have been Summer League MVP.
But Christian Brown never had that kind of cachet behind him. So he gets looked at differently than the way people will look at Keegan, and people will text in and say, Keegan ain't it. He was supposed to be this. He was supposed to be that. They both could end up being the same player, but because one was drafted 4th to the Kings and one was drafted 21st to the Nuggets, they get looked at completely differently. And the narrative, I think, would be that Christian Brown, I think, even if they end up getting paid the same thing, that Christian Brown, better story, better situation, better narrative than Keegan, when they're both good NBA players, but they're not looked at the same way.
Yeah, and that's kind of interesting to think about, because where I think of Christian Brown's, I mean, I want to call him Braun. It's stupid that his name is Brown, but
you say that every time.
I mean, I have to do it, but whatever. The way I feel like Christian Brown's career went differently too is that we saw him as a role player on a championship team. Mm-hmm. And we talked about this with DeRozan going to the bench. I think Brendan Nunez made this point. Maybe it was Chris, but someone made the point that once you get typecast as a role, it's sometimes hard to break out of that. We've kind of seen that happen to Keegan a bit ever since they've added DeMar DeRozan. But Christian Brown could have very easily been typecast as a role player on a very good team and never been given that runway. And he's kind of broken that mold in a way, kind of like you mentioned his breakout year last year. That was kind of him breaking from what role we thought Christian Brown would be in the league. And now we're kind of having to rethink what this guy's ceiling is, which maybe is why, like you, I would be hesitant to offer $30 million a year to someone who, at his best, even still is a number 4 on the Denver Nuggets.
On the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody else, I mean, he is in the same ilk as because now he's got to shoot more. So I'm not going to call him Derek White because he just doesn't shoot enough. I'm not going to call him Derek White. I think he's more, I think he could be a generic store Alex Caruso. I think so. I think he could be better the same way we talk about the conversations and the comparisons between Devin Carter and Keon Ellis, who's better on offense, who's better on defense, and then you throw Nick Clifford in there. I think he could be better than Alex Caruso on offense, but I don't know if I'm comfortable saying anybody is going to be as good as Alex Caruso on defense. So I think that he's in that area, and he would be that type of player, and you might get a little bit more from him offensively. And even if he's 80% of what Alex Caruso is defensively, yeah, that's a stud, right? And getting back to Keegan is better than both of them offensively. Defensively, it's different. It's a bit confusing, but I think Keegan is, and I'm moving on from Caruso, but I think Keegan is as good. Brown is not better than Keegan defensively. I think they're both really good.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's better.
It's tough because on that Nuggets team, he's surrounded by very good defenders versus Keegan is being asked to guard 1 through 4 at all these various times.
Well, it's him and Gordon.
It's him and Gordon, but Jokic can hold his own. I know Jokic isn't great, but Jokic can hold his own. Michael Porter Jr. was a good defender.
No, he was, but
we'll see what Cam Johnson looks like on this version of the team. They might.
And Jamal.
Jamal ain't doing much, but still, he was surrounded by length. What do we keep talking about? Lengthy wings who can defend. That was kind of what he had. And in the case of Aaron Gordon, a true legitimate power forward, not we're taking a wing who we're sticking at power forward. Like the Kings have done a lot in Keegan Murray's career, whether it's Harrison Barnes, Keegan himself, Trey Lyles. You know, we're taking wings and kind of sticking them at the 4 position. So, you know, they have a true 4 who can defend down low, which allows Brown to guard on the perimeter and not get switched all the time.
Yeah, so that is something to keep an eye on, depending on what the timing is. And I know Denver, they do not want to lose Christian Brown. They don't, right? You cannot trust Julian Strawther and Peyton Watson.
Hunter Tyson.
No, man, come on.
I mean, you just hate these guys.
They're all the same guy.
Deron Holmes and Conchar.
They're all the same guy.
You just hate all of them.
They're all the same guy.
But Peyton Watson's actually pretty good.
Sure.
Hunter Tyson, he's got a shot.
Sure.
Strother, I'm not going to go.
He's there.
Of all of them, I'm most with you on Strother.
Whenever you play the Nuggets and Strother's about to shoot, I think, thank the Lord. We got out of that one.
We'll live with that.
Yeah. Hey, we get it. He's with us. That's what you say when you got a brick going on there. All right. Let's transition now to Mac Jones and the Niners. I was really excited to watch this Niners-Bucks game, but I already wasn't sure who's going to play, and it might be even worse than that. People are noticing that Adrian Martinez, David Lombardi says Mac Jones limited today. This was yesterday. Actually, the first time I've seen the 49ers have only one QB throwing for route running work. They need at least 2. So QB coach Mick Lombardi handled the throws for Jones. 49ers Jones managing so he's ready to start Sunday. Jones said part of the reason he didn't throw much today at practice, this is yesterday, to save some throws. If you're wondering what's going on with Mac Jones, as Kyle said, I thought it was his knee. Yeah, it's his knee and his oblique. Okay? So, and this is a crazy statement. This was on the Niners flagship. Have you ever heard anything like this from Kyle Shanahan? Kyle Shanahan stated that Mac Jones wasn't able to throw at practice today, but should be able to play on Sunday versus the Bucs. He couldn't throw on Thursday, but he's going to be ready to face the Bucks on Sunday.
He's going to have Vita Vea running at him.
They're going to have Brian Daboll go into the tent and find a way to get him cleared for Sunday. This is terrible.
We should start the Daboll meter. Like if a player goes out, the coach is like reacting. Like, I guess this isn't the same, but you saw that story where Jonathan Gannon had to apologize for hitting DeMercado.
And that we didn't get to it with all the King stuff, but that was embarrassing.
Yeah.
That was embarrassing. And look, I know I get on these airwaves and I talk about back in my day and swirlies and I get that, but you can't do that.
You can't strike a player.
You can't hit a player.
Well,
you can bleep them. I don't really mind the bleeping. Don't put hands on him.
While another player is like consoling him and he's obviously like crushed.
And if I'm not tripping, didn't he do it twice? Looked like he did it twice.
He gets up in his face and you kind of see him move back, so he might have bumped him, but then there's like the arm coming in situation.
Yeah, bad stuff.
Yeah, not great. But anyways, like that level of rage on the sideline when a player gets injured, we gotta start the Daboll meter.
Yeah.
If a Dayball's ripping a player back in the game.
You just don't see it though.
Well, not anymore.
I've never seen anything like that from Daboll. I've never seen that.
I mean, you mentioned the Friday Night Lights joke. This obviously used to be a thing, but
it's a thing's probably still in Texas now.
But we don't see it in pros or the college anymore, just because there's all the protocols and whatever.
This is the scene, and it wasn't Friday Night Lights. It was Varsity Blues. Okay, when the running back gets hurt, and I think it was halftime, and they have him on a table, and the quarterback is right there and he sees what's going on and the coach comes in and closes the shades, right? Because they're about to do whatever they need to do to get him ready to play. That was what Daboll was giving last night. He got in the tent and he said, and next thing we know, Kyle, I got up, Jackson Dart's on the ground, not moving. I go do something with baby Styles number 2, and he's drinking water in the game. I see Daboll walk into the tent. Next thing you know, he's in the game.
Also, Scattaboo walked into the tent.
Scattaboo had to be there because Scattaboo's never. There's no injuries. Don't exist. It's all in your mind.
Yeah.
If you're Cam Scattaboo.
Cam Scattaboo just had smelling salts. Cam Scattaboo's like smelling salts solve all. You were joking about the ginger ale. Scattaboo's ginger ale is smelling salts. Leg injury, smelling salts. Head injury, smelling salts.
That's it. So. With the Niners, I don't know what they got going on. If it's going to be, it sounds like he is going to play. It sounds like Mac Jones is going to play. It's just bizarre terms that it's only the Niners can pull this type of stuff off. So he can't throw on Thursday, but he's going to be ready on Sunday. That's the last we've heard so far. And if it's not him, or just one hit away. How about that? How about he starts the game and it's football. He gets drilled. And now you're going to see. Has anybody seen Adrian Martinez play football?
I have seen him play.
He's the one that you said was, because I remember the name. He was at Nebraska for 8 years.
He was at Nebraska for 8 years and also Kansas State for 1. But I remember
after Nebraska?
After Nebraska,
wow.
Yes.
These kids, they just invent eligibility. They invent it.
These COVID kids just
Jeez.
Pulling years out from anywhere. But anyways, I remember him playing Iowa in what was just the worst football game I've ever seen. It was, God, I'm trying to remember. It was the year that Kirk Ferentz's son was the offensive coordinator, and they were like breaking all sorts of records for low offense, but they still went like 9-3 somehow. It was like the most garbage football game I've ever seen. It was like 7-7. The over-under for the game was literally 24.5. They hit the under on I think it was a 13-10 game-winning field goal. It was the most disgusting football game I'd ever seen, and that was the last time I saw Adrian Martinez play quarterback.
Speaking of, I was scrolling through X, and this tweet went viral, and it was, and you know when a tweet goes viral, and then there will be a bunch of quote tweets that says, that just are responding to them. Somebody said, who is the worst QB in college football? And somebody just said, well, ... And it was a picture of Chubba Purdy. And nobody knew the lore of Chubba Purdy. If you have listened to this show, you're very familiar with Chubba Purdy and how terrible he is.
If you've also listened to this station, because you were gone, we couldn't cut new promos. So it was running that promo for like 2 weeks of you and me clowning on Chubba Purdy.
So, he might be next in line at this point if the Niners can't keep guys healthy.
Which, funny update on that. You know how we were joking he was a 6th-year senior and had never won a college football game? He finally won a college football game against Sac State.
I was going to say it had to be an FCS team.
They beat Sac State.
Yeah.
That was his first win. And by the way, they almost lost. Like, it took a fumble at the end of the game or a pick 6 with Sac State tied for them to win that game. A quick update, too, on that Nebraska-Iowa game. This was 2023. The over-under was set at 24.5, which was the lowest in recorded history, and they cashed the under on 24.5 points between Iowa and Nebraska. It was a game-winning field goal, 13-10.
That's disgusting. That's like those SEC games back in the day when they were 3-0.
They also kept breaking records, I remember that year, because it was like Iowa was at 29.5, hit the under. 27.5, hit the under. It just kept getting lower and lower, and they kept cashing the under because Iowa won every game 10-7.
Just a laundry list of injuries. Brock Purdy not practicing. Mac Jones, very, very limited. The Bucs right now are favored by 3 points. Ricky Pearsall, Juwan Jennings not practicing this week. George Kittle not available this week. Could return week 7. That's from Kyle Shanahan. But I guess the positive, if you want to look at it that way, the Bucs aren't very healthy either. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, and Bucky Irving out. So that means Sterling Shepard, come on down. Obviously, Emeka Egbuka, he's going to be highly featured, okay? And the Niners are going to throw their best stuff at him. So I would say take a look at your Sterling Shepards. Take a look at your Cade Ottens. I think he hit his over because Baker doesn't have anybody else. He was my guy last season.
Oh, Cade Otton always. Baker.
No, he is my guy.
That is Baker's guy.
Speaking of, because Schmal and Miles did not do well yesterday. You know who annoys me when it comes to prop talk? Dallas Goedert. He went for 100 yards yesterday. He either makes his line look ridiculous, or obviously we don't want anybody injured, or he just doesn't finish the game because he's always a bit dinged up. But when he plays, Dallas Goedert always goes off. Always goes off. It's just hard for him to kind of stay on the field.
Looks like the Bucs' third receiver is someone named Tez Johnson.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, be careful with Tez.
How do you know who this is?
Because he'll be there.
Schmal and Miles telling you about Tez Johnson.
He'll be there waiting with a smile on his face and a song in his heart.
I'm with you on Goddard. The other person who is like that, who I know because I'm starting in fantasy, is Dalton Kincaid.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
No. I told you I'm done with the Bills. They troll me every time. Or Schmallen takes Josh Allen's rushing yards. He's a pocket passer, right? He stays away from it. Now he's Cam Newton. He goes with Dalton Kincaid. Now we haven't seen Dawson Knox in 3 years. I can't do it. I'm done. The whole team is on the ban list.
Dawson Knox can't still be on the team, is he?
Trust me. Don't let Schmallen get a hold of Dalton Kincaid, or you will see Dawson Knox go off.
God, Dawson Knox is still there. Yeah. Wow. Dalton Kincaid touchdown is the way to go, though. He'll have because I have him on my fantasy team, he'll have 2 catches, but one of them's for a touchdown.
Yeah. On the other side, we have just some news around the sports world. An update. I was going back and forth with a texter earlier about Shedeur Sanders. An update on that backup situation, and we go through the NFL games for this week. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
For the latest from Kings training camp,
tune in to Sactown Sports 1140.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. That means it's time for My Lowe's Rewards members to save big with up to 40% off hundreds of items like appliances, tools, home essentials, and more. Plus, get free standard shipping. Shop these exclusive member-only savings now through October 15th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Subject to change.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money because you're in charge. And right now, you're going to pay for groceries. But you decide what groceries. Just keep in mind you're running out of dishwashing soap. But you decide if you're going to buy that soap. It's just those dishes won't clean themselves, will they? Remember, with Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Footballs are flying. The days are getting shorter. Fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter. So who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635-355.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? Sunpoint Public Adjusters can help. Sunpoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call Sunpoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. Sunpoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Hey man, gaining weight, low energy, lost drive? It could be your testosterone. Revive Men's Health Sacramento helps men get their edge back. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations.
When men start treatment, it's not just their labs that change. You see it in their posture, their energy, and how they walk into the room. That's why I do what I do.
Call 916-619-3000 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 916-619-3000 or schedule anytime at revivemenshealth.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here, talking to you about my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Now, they are upgrading their offerings to you to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience into the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. And you've heard me talk about them for years as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get a second opinion on any HVAC service or replacement. But now you can also get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. And when you really think about it, how do we know how much it's supposed to cost? At the very least, you'll know you're in the ballpark, and I can all but guarantee you they'll beat the price. They'll come out for free. They'll give you a second opinion. And all you got to do is give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
30 more minutes with you. We will be joined by Whitey Gleason in the next segment and the High Flyer. Kyle, we are going to get to some of these NFL games. As we've said before, we don't just sit here and cook a whole segment just going through every single game. We don't go through the bad games. We go through the good games that actually matter. But before we do that...
There's a lot of yuck this week.
I thought that last week, but I thought...
Yeah, Dolphins and Panthers was carrying the day.
Yeah, I thought that there were bad matchups, but good games. Real quick, on the Shedeur Sanders front, Adam Schefter has reported that Kevin Stefanski confirmed Shedeur will back up Dillon Gabriel on Sunday and serve as Cleveland's second quarterback. So we will see if he gets an opportunity. Look, I think Dillon Gabriel, he looked fine. You listen to Dan Orlovsky, and it's almost like Dan Orlovsky has never seen a bad quarterback. Like Dan Orlovsky, he's like, I think Dillon Gabriel looked great. Dan, we all watched. I mean, he looked fine, but every quarterback is good until they stink. That's what we're doing these days.
So you know how like the NBA coaching fraternity won't make fun of other NBA coaches?
Yeah.
Like Stan Van Gundy will never say anything critical about another NBA coach.
Yes.
That's Dan Orlovsky with quarterbacks.
Yes.
It's like, I will never say a bad thing about a quarterback.
Unless it's already known that he's not good.
I mean, even
like after
then,
a couple years, I think that he won't say it, not this early, because they're still essentially draft picks. So Dan is like, he did some good things, and as long as you don't throw about 3-4 picks, Dan will find a way to make it a positive.
I don't know. If Dan's not making fun of Geno Smith at this point,
He just doesn't talk about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. When they're bad, he just won't bring it up.
Yeah, Geno, they're going to figure it out there. So before we get to these games, we did want to mention something, and I don't know for all you Sac State students, and I don't know fans, I don't know who's allowed to go, but I don't know what's happening at Sac State. And look, good on them, but they are really rolling out the, I don't even know if Gen Z is the right term, but the entertainment area.
Yeah, no, it's my generation.
Yeah, the entertainment. I don't know. Some of these artists, though, that's closer to millennial than Gen Z. So basically, they have a live at the Hive post-game performance series after home football games, okay? So some of you that may be listening might not know who the hell I'm talking about, but let me just tell you, all these artists are pretty big, okay?
Or were pretty big 5 years ago.
Yes. So October 18th, they got Lil Yachty. October 24th, they got Quavo. And November 15th, they got Blast. Kyle, we know the president was listening to the show, what was that, about a month ago. Look, good on them. This is just so random. So the game ends. You go on over to wherever they're performing? This is
I think it's at the arena.
At the arena.
Like, you don't have to go anywhere.
So is this okay, hold on. You know what this is? I don't know if they're doing other games, but it's you got to be careful, because I think it was G-Eazy or somebody. Are these concerts and it says performance. So these guys got paid whatever amount of money, maybe less than normal, to do about 2 songs and get up out of there. Like, I don't think these are full-on concerts. I think these are 3 songs. Let's do the 3 biggies and get up out of there. Still very cool. But a performance series, be careful, they did not say concert anywhere.
Also, I'm looking up their schedule now. I think these dates are not game days. So, wait, which one was Blast?
November 15th versus Idaho.
Okay. I just have the wrong
pep rallies?
I just have the wrong schedule up here. That's fine. It's not updated. But anyways,
it's not the arena. Yeah, you think it's basketball, it's football.
Oh, these are football.
It's football.
Wait, so these are football games.
Yes.
Before or after?
After.
This is after the game?
Post-game performance series.
Look.
Look, put aside your UC Davis, connection. What's your problem?
No, I don't have a problem with it. I'm just, where are they getting the money for this? Like, Blast was doing a tour through Sacramento, and he was playing at, like, Hard Rock.
Yeah.
Like,
Quavo, I mean, who's the most expensive here? Is Quavo.
Quavo, easy. Quavo.
That's the one where you're thinking, okay, that is... You know what? Is this a Shaq thing? Did Shaq pull this off?
Quavo, though, is the one that makes the most sense, only because I know his reputation. And he is kind of like Snoop Dogg in the sense that all money is good money. You just got to write him a check for a certain dollar amount, and he will show up and do anything. So Quavo makes sense.
You got to be a student? Probably not,
right?
No. Because you're just at the game.
Yeah. Which, by the way, look, I will say, as someone whose number one artist on Spotify last year was Blast, I might have to show up for that. I'll show up in the slide. I'll show up in the fourth quarter of that game. Yeah. I might have to see Blast playing at Sac State.
I'll wear a hat, hide the grays, and I'm gonna be in there. I'm gonna be in there. So shout out Sac State, the concert series. You want to stop by? I'm assuming, I don't know how much tickets are for a game if you're not a student, but
whatever it is, it's going in Quavo's pocket.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Whatever you're paying, it's going directly to Quavo.
Yeah, and if you're not, the Migos, if that's a name that is familiar to you, Quavo, one of the members of the Migos.
Also, like Lil Yachty had a #1 song back in the day. Like this,
I don't know Blast is probably the cheapest, to be honest.
Yeah, Blast is pretty pop. I mean, he was on the Kendrick album a couple years ago, but Blast is probably the easiest to get.
GoGoSack.com. Oh wait, hold on. Tickets at GoGoSack.com. So I don't know if that's included in the football tickets, or you got to set. What, they gonna kick you out?
No, there's no way. There's no way. They've got to have.
I got my go ticket right here. All right, Kyle. Let's get to these games. Let's see what is worth it, what is not. And you've been so red hot with the prop talk. I got to give you your kudos. We already had Philly, New York. Let's see what else here, Kyle. Jets, Denver. No.
I won't wake up at 6:30 for it.
Colts, I tried to tell you about the Cardinals. I tried to tell you, but Colts, Cardinals, let me see what else is there.
Yeah, let's wait and see. That's a 10 o'clock. Well, that normally, I have a joke that there's there's certain games that are always 4th out of 4 in the afternoon on the red zone. Like someone against the Raiders, someone against the Cardinals. They have to stick it in the afternoon block. It always shows up when the good game is a blowout. This is very red zone 125 coded.
Yeah, this one, because you're right, but because it's in Indy, it is 10 a.m. Chargers, Dolphins, no thank you. I mean, I'm curious if the Chargers are going to get back on the winning side of things.
Chargers lost to the Giants. Dolphins isn't much different.
New England, New Orleans. I mean, Spencer finally got their first win. He just can't catch a break. So I won't be watching. Sorry, Spence, but good luck. I almost said the Cavaliers. The Browns and the Steelers, no thank you. Cowboys, Panthers, please, God, no. Seattle, Jacksonville, okay. Yeah.
Wow, what a crazy sentence at the start of the year that we would have been game of the week, Seahawks, Jaguars.
You know what's so funny? Once a team is out of it, I won't care as much. If Rams, Ravens, this is it for me. Right? Assuming Lamar plays. If Lamar don't play, I'm not watching.
It's leaning towards Cooper Rush, but it's still questionable.
So again, Tennessee, Raiders, probably the worst game that could be created in the history of NFL football. Cincinnati, Green Bay, Joe Flacco.
Jesus. Mm-hmm. By the way, I just thought of this because last week the game of the week was Lions and Bengals. The NFL got screwed on Joe Burrow getting hurt. They gotta stop.
He's injury prone. Yeah. He's just learn from it.
So all the games that he's out are still primetime, which is crazy.
They'll get flexed later in the season. Niners, Bucks, Adrian Martinez taking on the Bucks, missing Bucky Irving and the crew. I'm kidding. It's supposed to be Mac Jones, but he couldn't throw yesterday.
And Tez Johnson.
He'll be fine for Sunday, though. Hey, somebody on the Sack Chat said, stop. Tez Johnson was a dog at Oregon, and he was. Shout out Tez Johnson. Lions, Chiefs, sure. It's going to be good, but now I got to wait. That's a night game. My whole night is cooked.
Well, I'm also going to be on a plane during that time, so I'm going to miss Kansas City putting a whooping on those Lions.
Okay, subtle flex right there. The Bills on Monday, we're going back to the Monday doubleheaders for some odd reason. Bills, Falcons, sure. All right, what else am I going to watch? Bears, Commanders, yeah, cool. That's a terrible Sunday.
There might be NLCS Game 1, maybe.
That's a terrible Sunday. And that is why, just how we started the show is how we will get into our last segment of the show. That's why we're telling you, look, I know a lot of you might not be Raider fans, but either way, the future is here, okay? And it comes in the form of Indiana taking on Oregon, okay? This is what we're talking about. Dante Moore, Fernando Mendoza, the future of the Raiders is here. So you got to watch that one.
Which one we don't know.
We do not know. You got Ohio State taking on Illinois. That's 1 versus 17. 7 Indiana, 3 Oregon, 6 Oklahoma versus Texas, the Red River rivalry. Dan Orlovsky just said Arch is going to be the #1 pick in the draft. They're all good. Dan Orlovsky's never seen a bad quarterback. And what was the last one, Kyle? South Carolina taking on LSU. That's also the Raider Future Quarterback Bowl.
You're going to get one of them.
We're going to get one of them. On the other side, you have Whitey Gleason and the High Flyer joining us to close out a great week and a great show. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
When I was in Iraq, our convoy was hit. It was bad. After I came home, I could still hear booms and see tracer fire. Makes it hard to be a good mom.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
I'm Naomi Mathis, Air Force veteran.
With the right support, more veterans can reach victories, great and small.
With help from DAV, I was able to begin to heal.
DAV provides a lifetime of support to veterans of every generation, helping more than 1 million veterans each year.
Today, I'm part of DAV. We're veterans helping veterans to get the benefits they've earned. And I give my veterans my all.
But there's more to be done and more victories to be won.
My victory is being able to be here for my children.
Naomi Mathis, thank you for your service. May your victories inspire many more. Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
It's the energy all around you. The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it. Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Not all rooftops are created equal. Revival at the Sawyer isn't just above the city, it's above the rest. Think DJs, live beats, a crowd that's always in the know, and views that make Golden One Center look like it's in your backyard. It's the rooftop Sacramento can't stop talking about. Revival, an experience that's anything but ordinary. Whether it's game night, date night, or just your night, Revival is where memories get made and the city feels alive. One rooftop, endless stories. Book your reservation at revivalsacramento.com.
What's going on? We're talking to Chad Hoblett of Hoblett Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Tell me, Chad, what's happening for the Drive into Fall event?
There's still time to get some adventure in when you save up to $8,600 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Willys. I love how these modern Jeep Wrangler Willys are filled with the latest and greatest tech and comforts, yet pay homage to the iconic past of the Jeep with huge off-road capability, distinctive exterior styling, and special interiors you will love.
Man, you make it sound like you're buying a modern-day piece of history.
It's true. Once you get into one of the Willys, you won't want to get out. But whatever you're looking for, you can find it at Hoblett. Check out our certified pre-owned supercenter with nearly 200 vehicles available and over 50 under $20,000.
Whatever you need, it's at Hoblett right now. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HoblettDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblett, period.
$8,600 total net savings on select new 2025 Jeep Wrangler Willys after $4,000 factory rebates and $4,600 dealer discounts. Rebates include $500 first responder bonus cash for eligible first responders. 3 of this net savings. Sample VIN 608-744. See dealer for details.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Born in 1892 to a socially prominent family, she was the consummate athlete, proficient in golf, tennis, marksmanship, swimming, and car racing. Many considered her the greatest horsewoman of the century. She was a pioneer in the field of golf course development with 3 world-class courses on her resume: the Women's National Golf and Tennis Club, Cypress Point, and Pasatiempo. Working for SFB Morse of Pebble Beach fame led to her second golf course development, which many consider to be the greatest golf course in the world, Cypress Point, where she developed a lifelong friendship and professional relationship with famed architect Alistair McKenzie. Pasatiempo in Santa Cruz was her third development, where she hosted the likes of Bobby Jones, Will Rogers, Babe Saharias, and more. Today, her place is alongside many others in the World Golf Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Marion Hollins, a visionary golf course architect and pioneer of the game. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
It's
Championship Night at Stockton 99 Speedway, Saturday, October 11th. Pro late models, mini stocks, legends, pure stocks, and mini modifieds in an all-out war for the crown. Kids 10 and under are always free. Grab your crew and hit Stockton99.com for tickets and info. Then be there when the dust settles and legends are made.
Your home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
One more segment with you, joined by Henry Turner, the High Flyer, and Whitey Gleason as they take you up to game night?
Game night, yes. Featuring the High Flyer. Basically, Henry's going to be here a while.
That's right. Henry's going to be hanging out here.
Hey, I'm one of the hardest working men in showbiz, bro. I'm trying to get there, Phil. I'm trying to reach y'all status.
That's right. That's right. And we talked yesterday about the first game. Any thoughts on what you want to see in this game, Henry? Anything specifically, or just in general, be better? Just be better.
Really, I want to see the guys come out with a little more aggression. Mm-hmm. Just straight out the gate with a little more aggression. Even if you look at it and say, okay, just a little more attention to detail.
Yeah.
Not turn the basketball over, look a little more crisp on the offensive end. Always want to see what's going to happen on the defensive end.
Yeah.
Me and Whitey argue all the time about, I don't care about offense right now.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see those guys get solidified on the defensive end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see some offense. No, I would like to see just more of a sense of order offensively. Obviously, everything this team's going to do is going to get done if they do anything on the defensive end. But I want to see just a little more a sense of, hey, Schroeder's leading the charge now, and this is how we run our offense. It was only the first game, I know, but it was pretty chaotic.
Yeah, and the Blazers, another team, they're going to get after you defensively. Mm-hmm. We know how they're trying to get down. I was looking, and the first game, or the game against the Warriors, they actually had Denny Avdia coming off the bench. There was something I don't know if weird is the right word, but they were doing a little doghouse thing with Shaedon Sharpe. They wanted him to play the right way. They started Shaedon Sharpe against the Warriors. So I do think they have some rotation questions that they're going to have to answer, that Chauncey Billups is going to have to answer. Good. I mean, I won't call them champagne problems because I don't think the Blazers are picked to make the playoffs, but good problems to have because they're good young players that are starting to show a couple different things throughout their time with the Blazers. Yeah, I don't know. I know it's hard for certain guys to get up from time to time because it is the preseason. But to your point, High Flyer, we don't really need to see much, right? We just need to see that you do have it and you can get there. I don't need them to do it. I really don't need them to do it every single preseason game. But I want to see, okay, cool, you have something, and that's the first half. Now you bring in the young guns and they go from there. Cool. But I just need to see it, and we didn't see it.
You know what? 100% understandable. I understand what you're saying. I gave a great example about it. I said, B.I. He came out, did what he had to do, and went and sat down. Right. Same thing with Zach. Yeah. Zach came in, did what he had to do, and went and sat down.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, this is a basketball team that's still searching.
Mm-hmm.
This is a basketball team that still have to prove. This is the basketball team that want to change.
Yeah.
So that's why we're looking at this stuff so early on, saying, okay, where's the change at, fellas?
Yeah.
Show us something.
Don't you think, High Flyer, Henry, dear listener, part of the problem for the Kings right now is they are installing everything defensively. Doug Christie's new defensive philosophy. You're playing a team tonight in Portland that they weren't as good as you last year, and they're still, we don't know how good they are, but they've been working on this for a while. They've been assembling this, like Klingon, they've drafted him to become this type of player. The Kings are just getting started on it. Teams like Portland, even though we don't know how good they're going to be, they've already been working on this for a while now.
And the crazy thing is that year after year, and it sounds so cliche, and it is, but it takes a while to get it together.
Yeah.
And I don't care what you do. As long as you're adding players, it's off.
Right.
It's off. We talked about it yesterday, Styles, when you talked about on the defensive end. I'm like, even if Schroeder is picking up from the urinal, in another locker room, if the other two guys aren't pressuring their guy, it's for nothing.
Yeah.
So everybody has to be on the same accord. You got to have all five guys on the string.
Yeah.
Speaking of pressure, Allen, what happened to your Phillies last night?
I was literally scrolling up to get back to it, and it led to a whole list of playoff blunders that we went through. Orion Kerkering, and he just wet the bed. You know, the lights
brain shut off.
The lights were too bright. And I'm watching it thinking, and we're all sitting there, just go to first.
Right.
Just go to first.
Right.
And at first I thought Real Muto, I thought he was calling for it. And I'm thinking, oh, okay, why would he do that? Then maybe he got confused. No, the picture is him pointing to first base. Whitey, how did you feel about the idea? I was talking about Jason Dumas, and you may have worked with him before he went back to Philly.
Yes, I did quite a few times.
And Jason was going back and forth with somebody else in Philly media saying, you gotta feel for Orion Kerkering. And Jason said, I feel bad for his teammates, but you know, this is professional sports and the lights were too bright. Yes, there is a human aspect of it, and obviously we know how Philly fans and fans in general can be. So we hope everybody keeps it PG, even though that's a lot of times they're not good at that there. But did you feel bad for him?
Yeah, because he should have made a better play, and he's paid a lot of money to make the play, and he didn't. But he feels terrible. He's another human being who's really suffering right now.
But here's the deal. You're going to feel bad.
Yeah.
For sure. But you're a professional, bro. I mean, these are the moments that you live for.
Yes.
You know, I can remember going back when I was 5-6 years old. Turner gets the ball. It's 3 seconds left. We shoot. We score. You live for these moments.
Right.
That's where guys, you know, you're a pro. You have to cream has to rise to the top. You know, you expect that from somebody in college or high school or whatever. You know, maybe the lights were too bright.
Yeah.
But, bro, you're at the epitome. I mean, you have to come through on this play.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm big on.
I still feel sorry for you. You're right. And I know he should have made the play, but I still feel bad.
But you know what I was thinking too? I was thinking my senior year at De La Salle, they had just started to introduce like sports psychology, right? And you know, I look back now at just different outfields. I went and checked out Kenyatta when they were playing Sac City. Whitey, there's 3 outfielders in left. There's 3 outfielders in center. There's 3 outfielders in right. I'm thinking, how did I do it, man? It's such a mind bleep with so much competition over and over again, and you have to stay on your P's and Q's. I'm thinking this dude, the first thing I'm doing if I'm him, if I'm the Phillies, he needs a sports psychologist immediately to just power through. You know what I mean? Because he's going to have nightmares. He's going to have if he's going to think about it.
That's part of it, bro.
That payroll.
That's part of it.
No, I know,
That's
but that payroll, he will be back in that situation. He's got to be.
Have you ever heard of Donnie Moore? I won't belabor it. But have you heard of Donnie Moore? Was a pitcher who gave up a home run when the Angels were about to clinch a trip to the World Series, and he gave up a game-tying home run. They lost in extra innings. He ended up eventually he took his own life.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah, and I'm sure there were other things.
Nothing comes to that, but
it's,
you know,
but it's painful for these guys.
It's kind of like watching LeBron look at J.R. Smith just dribble the ball.
Right.
Yeah. That's on the list. I got that on the list.
That's the one I thought of.
Yeah. That's a good point. Just in what we've seen, because you know what I was thinking about? Different situation with Galarraga. Not his fault from the Tigers. Perfect game, gets blown by the ump, which nowadays would have.
The ump is the one you feel bad for.
The ump is the one you feel bad for. But after that, I don't know how much longer Galarraga pitched. That's all he had. Here's the list. We got Bill Buckner, of course. J.R. Smith. Chris Webber in the timeout.
Ooh.
Yeah. Aaron Judge dropping the ball. And then we went to kind of honorable mentions where the series wasn't over, the game wasn't over. Aaron Judge dropping that ball in center field. Mark Andrews dropping the touchdown. That was just to tie it, so a little different. And we also have Magic Johnson running out the clock in the 1984 finals. Okay, and last but not least, tell me, should this one be on the list? The Seahawks not running the football. Because it's weird.
No.
It's weird.
Can I throw one more in there?
Yes.
Vladdy knocking the ball out to Robert Horry.
Oh.
that one needs to go on there.
That's on.
Do you remember Jackie Smith in the Super Bowl Cowboys?
Oh, yeah.
Dropping a pass in the end zone? That's another one.
It's just too many. It's just too many. So
It happens, man. But you got to get over it, though.
You have to.
No way it comes down to taking your life.
But dropping a ball or making a misplay is one thing. But when you, and your brain shuts off, that's a whole different level.
So that's why Kyle and we're up against it, and we can't wait to hear what you guys have to say for the next hour.
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We got a real job.
But Kyle said he thought Aaron Judge, his situation when he just dropped a fly ball, more complex than tougher than the Kerkering play. I'm thinking, how? All you gotta do is catch it. Kerkering, once he messed up, there's guys on base. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
And the point
Yeah.
My Philly brother, Draper. Wow, my goodness, Drapes. We got Colin. What's going on with your Philly boys? Then the Eagles, they're 0-4.
Yeah, Draper ain't taking our call today.
They're 0-4 when they both play together.
Hey, he's probably at T-Mobile right now buying a new phone.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't slam that one down.
Yeah, getting a new number as well. Drive Guys coming up next. Thanks to all the callers, texters, Sack Chatters. Thanks to Kyle Ledbetter. Great week as always. Whitey Gleason, Henry Turner, the high flyer. You got Ramsey behind the glass today. Is that what I saw?
He's behind the glass now, so I'm assuming so.
There you go. And until Monday, have a great weekend, everyone. If you got paid, treat yourself. Secure the bag like the beam.
I didn't know that.
They know what you ate for breakfast.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go.
The Drive Guys, weekdays 2 p.m. to 6 p.m.
on Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does